Back
Damn, dude,
again.
seriously.
Nate the Tank.
You had like 30 minutes to come up with something.
No, this is was it? No.
Good luck finding his last
I
name.
mean,
His name is Late, by the way.
Not Nate. That's my name.
It's
Ah,
Nate the Tank.
Not Nate.
Every time, dude.
Because he a tank.
All right. So today's topic. Wait, before we do, what are we drinking?
Well, you decided to get the shitty Modelo Chelada.
Dude, beggars can't be choosers.
I
Especial.
pray to God it's on an earthquake right now, please.
I know, right?
Well, Z knows how to actually
He
pronounce
has
it.
another drink
He knows how
coming.
to pronounce it right. Pronounce it.
Yo,
Come
real talk
Say
though.
it. Say it.
Hey, pronounce
say
it. Come on, say it.
Oh, chilada.
There you go. Boom.
Chilada.
There you go. baby.
Enchiladas. there
Mr.
you go.
Einstein, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Vicky Chamoy de Victoria.
The good one.
You had to one up us. You always got to do that. Why do you do
It's
that?
the last one, bro.
It's the
Yeah,
last
exactly.
one.
That's what I mean. Like you could have just
Nothing
been like
wrong
the
with
rest
that,
of
bro.
us.
What are you talking about?
In every Jeff Bezos group of friends, I bet you he's Jeff Bezos. There is no other Jeff Bezos.
You calling me bald? Wow.
Yeah. Hey, you know I saw this.
And rich.
I
Oh,
I saw this funny comment. Like they said, hey, Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion, right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
And there's 8 billion people in the world. And they were like, hey, you could have just paid everybody $1 billion and you still have money left over.
Oh, it's not over yet?
But you know what's
Sorry.
funny about that? It shows that they don't know how to do math. You know what I'm saying, right?
There. Now it's over.
There you go.
Where's the X-Files song? I have it.
Why do you gotta don't touch my shit?
All right. all right.
Quit touching my buttons.
All right. So think about it.
Poke him.
Do you see what's wrong with the idea of giving $8 billion to the people of 8 billion alive? Do you know? It doesn't make sense. To 8 people. Yeah. And the people on the Twitter try to like reason with this person, like, hey, that doesn't make sense, like mathematically, right? He's like, why not? If you take 8 minus like 44, you have like 20 something billion. Like,
Yeah, they were saying like divide that. Everyone would have at least 1 billion.
the funniest part is they clipped it and they put it in the news, and I'm like, dude, why?
No, it's because in the real math, it was like each person would get like $10 around there, $8.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
it was
but the
not
point
a
is
lot.
Would you
they were
rather
making
have
it
those
sound like-
$10 or not?
That's a lot of money.
All right, now I see
Wow.
why they got confused. You understand what the problem is, right? Because you said $10, but I don't think you understand the joke here.
No, I understand.
Oh
the
no,
joke.
we get it.
we
What-
get
what's
it.
the
We
joke?
get it. I'm just
No, they're
saying
the joke.
those
We get
people
it.
actually think that's what it is, and people actually buy it.
It
but
is
it's
what it
not.
is.
Wait,
Is this going over my head right?
I
now?
you know
It's like $5, right?
I have a story. One time, you're walking over the Walk of Fame, the stars,
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
and someone's like, it feels great to walk over the grave of all these dead famous people, and you're just like, what? Like somebody can say something so absurdly dumb that you wonder to yourself, am I stupid?
Exactly.
Or are we like in some kind of other universe where like things don't make sense the way I thought they did? Can you explain it to me? Because I have an understanding of the $8, that the $8 billion going $1 billion to 8 people, because it wouldn't be enough. But what do you understand?
It's like I understand you're attacking me right now. I understand
I'm
you
gonna
got way
I'm
too
gonna
much time
pretend
on your hands, bro.
Quick
Okay.
math. The team goes pro. Sorry, that's all I know about quick math.
All right, so life outcomes. That's the title of today's episode. Why is it important? Let's have a roundtable conversation. We can talk about anything, but eventually
It's a square.
it's okay.
It's a rectangle. Sorry. My bad.
Life is a circle, according
the
to
meaning in life
Simba,
is
right?
42. We can't afford a
42?
round table.
They-
It's-
The
42.
cycle of life, according to the Lion King, right? That's when you first find out. Imagine that's how you find out that death exists. That's
Just
horrible.
By wildebeest, just straight up.
Yeah, dude. Watching Mufasa fall, you're like, that would never happen in real life, actually, son. That can happen to any one of
Relax, it's not an earthquake.
us. That's probably the worst way to go. Somebody like your best friend trying to like, we're gonna have to survive somehow, and you're like, what?
We're gonna eat you first. Sorry.
How would you justify that?
Justify what?
Like, you have to survive, right?
It's either you
How do you
be
decide?
eaten or you be bred.
If everyone is still alive equally,
By
like, how do you
Z.
decide?
Honestly,
By Z.
I'll just run away from that group.
Wait, do you have it on?
I'll be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Just run away.
Okay.
Why is it one or the other?
That's
You're
his.
eating or bread?
Yeah, you're eating or bread. You're eating with bread.
Yeah, that's like the movie.
Why don't you eat the bread? Like, what?
No,
what-
this guy don't even
what-
get it.
You're that kind of bread. My
Yeah,
bad.
there you go.
Oh, I feel stupid. Now I know how you felt.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Big
Wow.
brain.
He
Now we're
literally
equal.
just called you stupid right now.
No, I did not.
Trust
call
me,
him
he looks at him often. He's like, I feel it every day.
Yeah.
all right. So life outcomes. Here's the thought process. In life, you have what they call peaks and valleys, right? There's moments where you're doing great, things are going your way. There's moments where things are going badly. Sometimes you're on the way to a peak, and then you just realize a valley right on the other side. You're not even like all the way there. But sometimes when you really think about it, there's happy moments in life, there's happy beginnings, and the ending to your life could be happy. Which would you rather be the happiest mark, because you can't have happiness throughout the entire the entire life. Some people have really bad beginnings, right? Their parents aren't maybe there for them, maybe they don't have parents, but things turn around.
They want to go get milk. Never came back.
And let me give you one example that
He's coming back.
Allegedly.
He said he's coming back.
And
He said he's coming back.
one example that kicked off this process, the thought process, was
An
when
earthquake.
I'm really stupid. No, I recently discovered that
I just want to know if
Steve
an earthquake
Jobs-
happens, why do you want to eat somebody?
What's wrong with Steve Jobs?
No, why do you want to eat him?
Can we talk about like the real discussion here?
Yeah, man.
I've seen him do like push-ups. I think he'd chewy.
Oh,
Why do you need it?
okay.
He wants you.
On day
He
one,
wants-
though, you're
he
gonna
wants me.
pick someone.
Well, I mean, we got to
we
make it
could all
last for
go-
30 days. Like,
But we could all go 30 days, right? And
I think-
we're chilling.
I think he
it'll
wants
be a
me.
struggle.
No, I
but-
think he just wants me.
look, and I
No,
know
he
that, and
wants him.
I'm aware there's pizza in the room, but
Ambiers.
it's like, but I don't think
you confused me for the food. Then he's like,
He's literally
He's
gonna like jump over the table and just
come
tackle you.
Yeah,
the moment anything starts to shake, you're like, it's over. It's like humanity's over.
he just starts moving the table. Oh, sorry, Richie.
He's like, I have the
What'd you
high ground.
say?
I'm scared. I'm
I
scared.
said
of you.
Richie, like Richie Rich, Richie Valens.
Okay, so
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's
it
a great
is.
movie.
It is a good movie.
Yeah, very good movie.
Allegedly.
If it's real,
Supposedly.
what is real? So
All right, back to the happiness.
the thought that kicked it off was knowing that Steve Jobs was an adopted kid, right? I found out recently, like 2 months ago, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because he had a really bad upbringing, according to him. He had a great, like,
Is that why he treats
teenage
his
years.
employees like shit?
probably, because he probably, damn.
Isn't he dead?
Who?
Dude, sometimes,
That
inside to hit the
that was
drums,
over
man.
10
Yo.
years ago.
sometimes, sometimes you make me think, bro.
That was the wrong button, dude.
But
That's right. It's the face.
if he started off he had a bad life.
Mm-hmm.
He thought about those things, moved on, and created one of the most powerful tech empires that exist. Of course, there's other ones out there, but it goes to show, even in history terms, right? There's always people that start off bad and end up well. Like Kanye West started off really bad, got really well, and now nobody wants to even say his name. So
I think that's
Because
for
it's
other
not
reasons.
Kanye anymore.
peaks and valleys.
Other
baby.
reasons.
Yeah.
Do you die a hero, or do you live to become a villain? What happens in life? Let's start
Oh,
off the
no,
round
he's
table.
totally a villain.
No, I.
Whoa.
Because he's eating his friend like right away.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, he's thinking about him. He's telling him ahead of time so he knows what's gonna go down.
Gator.
That's a good friend.
He
You wouldn't
just-
want to be surprised going, I thought we were cool.
He
Like,
just,
yeah.
he just tripped. It wasn't.
Is
even
that why you
earthquake,
always
he
carry
tripped.
salt and like
Bro,
tapatio with
them
you?
shrooms, man, they're getting to you.
Okay, so what do you think?
You die a hero. Nah.
B.
Uh,
Hendrix.
You end happy. Because if you start off happy, if it's like you're starting off perfect and then shit goes bad and then it just fucks it up and that can deter you, make you bad, or it just ruins it. You know what I'm saying? It taints it. But if you start off struggling, there's no way to go. There's nowhere
get
to
a
go.
connection.
There's nowhere to go but up after that. So
Okay.
it makes you appreciate everything. If you start off good, it's like the younger generation nowadays. They got it good. We're good parents. We give them freaking everything. There's less
We come back
troubles.
from the store with the milk.
Yes, we bring hella milk.
We don't get
Right.
lost. Wink.
Exactly.
But we forgot the rest of the shit they said. That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
They're like, hey, what about the rest of the groceries? Like, fuck. there's
Be
more.
happy. I
You too
came
good for
back.
milk.
I swear I'm not smoking anything. I just forgot the rest of the shit, yo.
We're gonna continue through the round table, and I want you to finish your thought. We have somebody jumping in real quick. Guess we scared them away. All right, so
And
go ahead,
looks like
finish
they
your thought.
left.
Just like that. Okay, go
They
ahead.
didn't want to pay the $5 to get in.
It's like fuck that. They're getting milk.
No
and I
refunds.
didn't,
All right,
right?
go ahead.
No, but yeah, it just makes you appreciate it way more.
The beginning part of your life.
Yeah, the
If-
struggles and all that. It was it's funny. I just saw something like a clip on Ronaldo, kind of like what you're talking about today, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And he's talking about his son. He's like with the technology getting in the way. He's like, but you can't really say anything. It's just the way life is now. But back in the day, I had a struggle. You went through all this stuff. You didn't have all these distractions. It makes you appreciate and work harder. Whereas right there, they have choices not to. They don't have to work as hard.
That also sucks though to know that Cristiano Ronaldo is your dad, and all the girls are like, is your dad gonna be home?" You're like, "Dude, what? I thought you liked me." Like, what- yeah, but
Don't
he had
worry,
surgery already.
I'll
Like,
fix my teeth too.
yeah. Okay, that's a good point. So you rather be the midway of your life to be the happy point, or the ending?
Mid and shit. I don't know.
Okay.
Bro, you think I had a choice to get here the first time?
Well, now
now I
do.
get to choose the end?
Well, yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah, that's called a force quit or rage quit. Nah, I'm good, fam.
No, that's okay. All right. Okay. So that's your answer right now, right? You're not sure, but maybe somewhere around the middle.
Allegedly.
What do you think?
I think it's early in life, if there is that kind of struggle, I think you can learn lessons through that a lot easier than if you're like more well off. So I went to high school with some more of like I would say like a lot of like rich kids at the school, right? And we'd go out to eat. Like Burger King was a spot. It's like 6 dudes hop in the Prius, drive down to Burger King, okay? And
The porn,
I'm like value
porn
menu
director said
guy.
cut.
All right.
That's wild. Okay?
No, they're wild. All right, don't worry. Just keep going. Ignore them. Just keep moving.
You had me
Director's
at
cut.
6
I'm like
dudes.
a
Director's
value
uncut
menu,
edition.
dollar menu guy. Okay, this is how I was raised, you know. So I'm like going in, I'm like ordering like 6 things. It comes out to like 50 cents. So we're good.
Yeah.
And these other kids, they walk in. I feel like they're looking for like the most expensive thing on the menu.
They're
and
like,
they get,
where's the burger with the caviar?
100%. And
What's the human meat
so-
one? Sorry, go ahead.
It was like
Oh,
caviar.
there's
That's
no.
beyond
It's
me.
Burger King. You know they do that.
That's
All right?
beyond me.
All right,
like
dude. If they get
caviar.
Not at
if they get
3K.
meat from the cartel, that can't all be cow. All right, just letting you know.
It's
Go ahead.
true. So
Let him finish.
their bill comes out to like, I don't know, like $16, and he's got like 4 chicken tenders or something. So they get to the table. There's like, Zach, like, wait, how'd you get all this stuff? I'm like, I just know what to order based on. And he spent like $15 on 4 chicken tenders, threw like 2 of them away. So I don't. They just didn't. I feel like understand even like the concept of like value and what
Yeah.
they're even like spending money on. So next time he's like, no, Zach, you got to order for me next time, and I'll just tell you kind of what I want. So he just gets this mountain of stuff, and he's spending like $5-6 or whatever. And it kind of makes me, as life gets better, and now that we're out of high school, we have jobs and we have money, kind of makes us like appreciate it, know how to budget, and then kind of plan your future from there.
Yeah.
Whereas those kids, I feel like are very behind. Like say that they're in their adult life, they get a bunch of money, big allowance, and then maybe they go bankrupt or whatever. I'm not sure what they're gonna do from that, because how can they scale down their life and expenses when they're so used to just like spend all this money on very little value?
Yeah, you can't cap
know?
things once you do that.
Yeah. So if
They're not
if I
frugal.
started off way too happy, I feel like it'd be hard for my parents to teach me those lessons. Whereas I'm not saying I was super poor, but it's like
Yeah.
we weren't up there. Maybe there were some times that were rough, so they could teach me those lessons very easily just by sheer experience. How I would
Yeah.
teach some super rich person about the value of their money from like the perspective of like a child, I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
that's smart.
You
dude.
know? Yeah.
So, and also, I guess you had a skill of being frugal about it, so
Yeah.
you appreciated the things you had, and you
100%.
made it stretch
Yeah.
and cover what you need. That's
Parents give you like $20. That's what you got, you know. And then you got to count up the tax in your head, and you get
yeah.
you're-
You get
you're
a little
looking
human
at
calculator.
price tag. So they're just like they just pull out the card. So it's just
Yeah,
whatever it
we're-
is. They're
We're not good at multiplying, but we're damn good at subtraction and percentages.
Uh-huh.
It's like for
Mhm.
sure. How much? 3% off. Huh? What does
Exactly.
that look like?
there it is. So yeah.
So would you rather have, again, a happy middle part of your life or a happy ending to your life? Don't. I see it.
We're
no,
all mature
no.
here. We're all
All right,
mature
Yeah,
here.
we were literally not reacting to this.
All right, I just
We'll go
felt it
with
coming
a-
on. I felt
I'll
the
go with a
energy.
He's doing that
happy
on purpose.
Conclusion.
You felt
All
it
right.
Go with
coming?
a happy
Oh, that's
conclusion.
much better.
Okay,
All right.
there-
I
there
had
it
that
is.
word and I never used
There it
it.
is.
All right.
So a good climax.
On each
The good climax.
Finds a way. Finds a way.
You can never, you can never close anything with that. All right, go. What do you think,
So
Einstein?
you say you never close with that?
Ask me the question. What was the question? Ask the question.
I never
again.
close
Do
that
you want
box.
a happy ending?
Of course I do. I want
Okay.
the happy ending.
Do you want?
Next.
Do you
Like when I
want?
go get a massage? Yeah, of course.
Do you?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
What?
Do you want the ending to your life to be happy? Do you want the middle of your life to be happy, or do you want the beginning? Because you can't have all three. What would you rather?
Of course.
One.
I feel like I already lived through the unhappy phase, and I feel like it's already getting.
Was it because your parents didn't sue?
Yeah.
That's
that-
why.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
quick story, side
okay.
story for those that aren't new. You were injured
Yeah.
at a bank.
I was.
Without naming the bank.
I can say it.
No,
doesn't
no,
matter.
no,
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 you can
no.
say it.
You can't say it on our show. You say it somewhere else.
Why not? It's
No, no,
fine.
'cause I'm not getting sued by that company saying allegedly you said something.
You're
You,
not.
you think people
I-
listen to our podcast?
Yeah. there's
No,
like
I don't
no
want to
one.
risk it. So, anyways, a big bank out there. You got injured.
Okay, don't say
Slippery
Morgan
floor.
Freeman. Like say like some other bank, all right?
You already just said it. It's already.
I-
No,
I
he's
didn't
like-
say it
it's
was
like
that
base,
one.
you know.
He just
It
said,
says
don't
Mo-
say.
I
It says
didn't-
Morgan in it.
Okay, then don't say Morgan. Say
Okay.
like Borgen.
Okay, so I mean,
Oh,
you already
God.
pretty much said it. So the bank has Morgan name in it, to keep it low key about it.
Morgan Freeman has a bank account?
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
There you go. So
you
Morgan
know you-
Freeman has a bank.
No, you know you did if he's got a bank. He's like, oh yeah.
So was it like a wet floor
It's not
sign,
called
or
running.
Wasn't.
It's not a
wasn't-
running bank.
Okay.
I mean, it is technically.
Yeah, they're
So,
they're in
wait,
every state.
Does
They're
everyone else know what happened except for me?
Yeah, he's about to
Yes.
fill
Oh
us
no,
in.
I don't know
Oh,
either.
go ahead.
no,
Okay.
I've only told I think
Yeah.
you two only.
Okay.
Yep.
But the thing is that when I was little, I was like what 9 years old, and
Yeah, 3 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, 3 years ago. I went to the bank right with my mom and sister, and we were playing. I believe we were playing tag, if I remember correctly. And you know,
You lost, huh?
I pushed on the revolving door
Bankers
just
love
to
it when
kind of
kids play
like.
tag. By the way, bankers love that. Oh, go ahead.
So I was playing with the revolving door, and I pushed the door. You know, it was a revolving door. You know, I pushed it the way it should go, and all the glass fell on top of me.
I guess
Hey.
it shouldn't have gone that way.
My boy slammed a revolving door.
Yeah, I slammed it.
Capture that in your head, yo.
That's how you figured out you had superpowers that day.
I was like, well, I have like Mr. Z over here says that it's physique powers. But yeah, so
That's why he's eating you first.
yeah, he calls it physique.
We might get superpowers if we get them. You never know.
He's gonna
Nah,
start
man, I think you're
straight
you're
from the
using it for
bone.
different.
Oh, okay. All of us. If Marvel does it, it's cool. But when I do it, it's just cannibalism. All right, whatever.
He's
Go
like,
ahead.
let me get my power. Let me give you your powers.
Hey, yo, your shits have lights. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying
the
too.
fuck?
I clicked on it. Look,
Hey,
you
did
clicked
you
on
find
the
it?
look.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting distracted. Go, just the story
click on
quickly.
it. Yeah, it's cool, right?
All
trying
right,
to
sorry,
keep-
sorry.
Anyways, so yeah, and all of everything fell. I had a bunch of stitches, got cuts on my head. I was bleeding like crazy and whatnot. And we pretty much could have easily,
Been millionaires.
yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
You could have given
but
$8
since-
billion to
since
8 billion people.
my mother was pretty. You can say she was an alien, as people like to call it here.
Whoa.
Yeah,
whoa.
an alien, all political, right?
She's from Mars. Okay.
Yeah, she's from Mars.
Or
Or
Venus or
she's
whatever.
she's very close to Elon
said-
Musk. You know, he's gonna conquer that place over there soon. So yeah,
That's his homeworld. He
that's
won't
his
conquer it.
homeworld. So
All right,
yeah,
go ahead.
alien over here was scared of ice, so they didn't do anything. They didn't press charges or anything. Just
If
said,
you guys don't know, ice is that wet stuff that freezes.
exactly.
It's what vanilla ice starts.
Vanilla
drinks
ice,
cold.
ice,
There you go, there you go.
baby. There you go. So yeah, afraid of ice. They didn't bother doing anything. Just we only got like $4,000 and paid for the stitches for my hand and legs.
What a
and everything
bargain.
else.
You know what kind of bonus that lawyer must have got?
Oh, yeah.
How much did they want?
That's-
20,000.
No, I remember they
Thrift-
asked.
thrift
They
store
asked us
suit.
again.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
thrift store suit right there.
Dude, they asked us again.
They
a-
just want the bandages? Like, dude, give them 4,000.
Yeah.
Just like,
They literally-
You just wanted us to open the first aid kit. Like,
yeah,
are you sure?
pretty much. Yeah, and I remember when
and not
my
get
mother was
what did they
signing.
say?
When my mother was signing, she was going to sign it, and then the guy's like, "Are you sure? Like, you don't want to review it again?" She's like, "No, just no. I don't want press charges.
Are
do
you
this."
sure
And
you
I'm
don't
like,
want the
okay,
Hello Kitty
and he just
band-aids?
walked
You
up-
want the
he just-
regular generic
you
band-aids?
sure you
Yeah,
don't
he
want
just
a
walked out
house.
like, "All right, okay."
Don't get the band-aid, bro.
That lawyer's like, I'm not even giving $50 out of this, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, how am I going to feed myself?
Crazy.
The lawyer.
It is
got
what it
like
is.
10
All
grand.
right, so
So, happy ending.
It is what it
All
is.
right, wait.
Every time, man.
Happy conclusion.
That was not a happy conclusion.
Is that what you want in your life? Or do you want a happy mid-ground when you're happy, you have a beautiful wife, big family, you have money, and then you end poor and like sad? How do you want it to end?
I like
think
how you
happy.
said happy conclusion instead of happy ending, just because we get off topic.
I know, right?
So
I'm
wait,
trying so
sure.
hard to like keep everything.
But bringing
So
bringing
hard.
that up, were you trying to say that happening early on then was a positive thing, or like the worst is over?
No, I
Because
feel like
that thing
I feel like
was
that was negative, of course. And there was many times, like there was other times like I
a negative because you weren't rich, or negative because you
Could
got
have-
scratched
yeah.
up and cut
I'm not
up?
saying I want to be rich, of course,
Yeah,
but
you are.
Yeah, you
you
are.
kind of
but
are.
what I'm
Yeah, you
saying,
are.
what I'm saying is I missed on that opportunity. Like I bought a bunch of Bitcoins, right? And those Bitcoins, I ended up buying it for like a couple ice creams, and I was left with like at least 8 Bitcoin. I never found that damn phone.
You was left with like 10 Shiba.
I
coins.
love stories where
I
you
never
can't,
found the
you can't
damn
trace
phone.
the factuality of it. That's
Yeah.
my favorite stories. I had 1 billion Bitcoin. I'm like, hey, I had 3 billion. Because like, oh,
Okay.
what now?
We almost had a rich
He
friend.
called you a liar.
Yeah, that was one time.
I didn't say him. I said, those people I talked. Like
there was
Andrew
another.
Tate.
There was another chance that when I was younger, I was like 14. I wanted to get a Bitcoin mining machine, and
Hold
I-
on, we're
I-
going the way
I-
back machine. Wait, what is your answer to the question? Wait, hold on.
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
I knew it. I knew it.
Talking about-
10 minutes later, you would have been.
Move
and
on.
that's
I
why
already told you. Happy
that's why I
ending.
like
Hey,
poodles.
happy
He said
ending.
it.
I already
Happy
said
ending.
it, dude. You keep asking me the same question.
Okay, happy ending.
All right, Felipe, come on, hop in the board.
So I'm not of the mindset that I want a beginning or middle or an end like that. It's more of the
He wants a journey.
I want my days to be balanced.
I want to be a yoga
right?
instructor.
I want my days to be
I
happy.
just want to stare at women as
but
they
I
stretch.
also know that obviously days aren't perfect. I'm gonna have bad days. We're gonna have terrible days some days. So I just want, even if it's a bad day, for it to get a little better, right? At least I'm not worst off.
Look, don't
you
be
know?
a white knight. Just be honest.
No, I'm talking about my personal experience, dog.
Bro.
You know how exhausting it'd be. Like, oh, it's been a great day. Now I have to expect the fucking worst next week.
Those people.
I hate that fucking.
those
feeling.
people like to torture
That's
animals
just
in their
dread.
basement. You
No,
can't. You
think about
can't
it.
do that.
If you're like one of those people that believe in, oh, I had the best luck today. Tomorrow I'm gonna have the worst luck. That's not how it should be. It should be like,
yeah,
listen,
don't be realistic.
I'm good now. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Okay.
And the
Fuck
day
this
can
beat
go.
on.
It can go all kinds of directions, right? You walk into the office like, get the fuck out. You got to go do this, this, and this. Holy shit, the day just got loaded, right?
Or they bring you
And-
into a meeting. They're like, "Hey, the company's downsizing." You're like, "What? What does that mean?"
And again, things
Why
like
am I
that
the only one here?
change in a happy.
Why is
right?
HR here? I know, right? Why do they need to know this? Like they just found out too, or what?
So again, like I said, that could be a really bad instance. But at the end of the day, you're done with work. You go home. It doesn't continue to be bad if you were like, okay, you know what, let it go. So there's always bad days, right? And if we know anything from our Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, it just takes one bad day to really fuck you up,
Yeah,
right?
you know what?
Mhm.
American Psycho.
Ooh.
We'll go with that.
We haven't seen it yet.
They're
but-
in the same world. One is rich and one of them is poor, and yet they both get crazy, except one never gets punished.
because you got monies.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it
He
was all-
Well,
confessed to
anyways-
everything. Anyways,
Well, just going back
Spoiler.
to the, if life were to happen in that direction where it's like, oh, I gotta have a great day today, and then tomorrow's a shitty day. Why would I wake up the next day? I just fucking call out, bro. Like, but that's
What?
not how the world works, though.
I don't think you can call out of life.
I
Like,
thought, I
Call
thought he
out
was gonna kill
permanently.
himself. Right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Whoa, you guys got a little
Hey,
dark,
shit,
eh? You got-
like-
I'm saying I'd be like, you know what? I'm just gonna lay in bed all day. Fuck it.
is that why you keep calling out from work, dude?
No, I have more PTO than you do,
I
John.
should have known, dude.
I have way more PTO than you do.
Oh,
that's not true.
flexing.
That
No,
is not
it
true.
is true.
That is not true.
It is
He's
true.
seen your checks.
We have equal PTO. I'm
I-
sure of it.
and I've used less. that's why I have-
but I have less vacation.
Again, same thing.
I'm trying to wink. Okay. All right.
What,
But
what are
again,
the
yeah.
numbers though? What are the numbers though?
So happy what? Happy daily life. Happy.
I would
middle?
say no. I want to go day by day, and when I have
You
a ba-
can't cheat. Why do you always cheat? There's three
But-
scenarios. Which one do you
But
want?
see, I'm not living that scenario in your head. You're
You
trying to
al-
make
He always does this.
you marginalize it to just
Dude,
these aspects.
Let me
I'm
give
like,
you.
I
Let me
can't
give you
do
an
it.
example. One
like
time
that.
I was like vaccines. Wouldn't like I was trying to prove a point that sometimes you have to go through tough stuff in order to have benefit. I'm like, imagine your kids and the doctor says you need to get a vaccine in order to like not get sick. This is before COVID, right? So like obviously now it's changed. But-
Now it's very relevant.
Right.
apparently.
But before I was like, so imagine that you have to stay strong and keep your child strong so they can receive they'll receive a little bit of pain from a shot, but in the long run, the benefit of it they'll have a happy life. This guy begins to tell me, well, wasn't there alternatives? Like why wouldn't I take a second opinion? I'm like, dude,
again,
okay.
again,
In this
the-
scenario,
the alternative
in
is
this
he dies.
scenario,
So-
you already know what the
No,
what the
but
alternative is. And
okay.
he's like, well, but
let
but
me
what, is there medication?
rephrase one thing.
You know, there's
if
many
I
ways
can.
to.
He literally started off with, "Would you allow pain or hurt?"
I'm like, would you choose
something?
a would you just
so
would
that
you
you
choose a
can
Toyota
protect
or a
them?
Tesla? And he goes, well, I mean, what if I want to walk? What if I want to bike? I'm like, dude, that's not the point. That's not the point of this.
He said, "What
Out of these three things,
for me?" And I'm telling him, I'm a guy that likes being prepared, right? Obviously, I like bringing shit. I like having it. I'm ready. If I can find an alternative way to avoid a disaster, I will. That's my thing. I will try to go out of my way to make sure I don't get into that situation.
have you talked to Putin? I think we need
Hey.
you on the team.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
Call him up
Putin.
then.
Oh my bad.
Call your boy P.
So he
Um,
wants baseline. He doesn't care if he doesn't reach those heights that maybe some people
Yeah,
really strive for, as long as he doesn't get those lows that people hate it because he
but you're always gonna have that.
but
You're always gonna have
despise
peaks and
those-
valleys.
No, I'm saying you will have those peaks and valleys. I'd rather be prepared by not expecting them,
God,
right? Because if I'm
This guy.
anticipating a bad day,
you can't ask him a question.
you start getting into that low on your own, right? You're
Three.
like, oh shit.
Out of the three choices,
And I'm fucking explaining to you why I didn't choose any.
Hey, let him finish.
God
Let him-
I don't want to hear.
Damn.
If he's not gonna choose one, don't choose one. All right, fine. He's gonna live
Now
happy.
you know
He's
how
gonna
prom
be-
feels for you, huh?
I don't understand. Just say one of the three.
choose one.
Wow. Wowie.
Okay, he can't choose. What would you do?
Middle.
Middle of life.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
So
well,
today.
first of all, like
Except for today.
yeah, exactly. Well, first of all, because like I believe like if you come up from nothing, then you're basically like strong already. You start off your
Oh,
adulthood
no.
life like strong.
You
You know.
reference a Drake song. Now he's not gonna shut up.
Ah, damn it,
Damn
that was
it.
an accident.
I forgive you.
Well, I know, right? Anyways, so like, I just feel like a happy midlife would be good because you're living that already. You don't know the future. Like, what if you're miserable now and then like you die tomorrow? That's your old life or whatever, right? But like, no, I think I'd choose like right now, basically.
Okay.
So instead of having to wait to be happy, like when I'm 60 or whatever, I would rather be happy now.
So
What
what?
if- What if you die tomorrow though?
Then at least I'm happy
Ooh.
now.
Wouldn't that be your end life?
Yeah, that's why I'm happy now.
But he was
So you
happy.
go day to day.
Yeah, so I would rather be happy
Yeah.
now, and then like, instead of being miserable now, and
What?
then
I prefer being day to day too, man.
all of us. You rather peak than
Uh-oh,
now.
it starts the
Yeah.
revolution.
Yeah.
So when you're in your old age, you're gonna die miserably.
Sure.
and you're okay with that.
I mean,
You'd rather
my
your old age be
body
your
is
peak,
already
your
my
valley.
body is already like dying on its
trending
own.
downward.
You know,
anyways,
exactly.
yeah.
It's already going down. So like I'd rather
Every
enjoy
second that
it.
passes was the youngest you'll ever be.
Yeah, he's
Right,
crazy.
exactly.
He's already 50.
Part-time
Yeah, so
worker.
I would
at
rather
Hallmark. Look at this
I'd rather be happy now and
guy.
then
1099
like
contractor. Look at you. This guy.
I would rather be that miserable old guy that yells at his kids to get off of his lawn and like I just live in the middle of nowhere. I'm already
Alright.
senile.
So let me add this question then.
No, you answer now.
We can start. No, I mean I'd rather have a happy conclusion.
So you'd rather have a happy ending.
I'm learning.
Well, I think a lot of people actually probably would like the middle like him because midlife crisis is like a term for a reason.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's so many people that stress about the ending that's why they can't even enjoy.
Yeah, because they don't want to get
Well,
old. They don't want to see
That's why
like
you just don't do it,
I
guys.
think-
If you don't care about that,
you go
Yeah.
jean shorts, you go New Balance
Yeah.
shoes, and you get buy a
Yeah.
Corvette.
You're describing a bunker, like a
and, a,
survivalist.
and a
Like, it's just
lawnmower
like-
you can ride, guys. Don't forget that.
He said
and you get a
Corvette.
bunch of cans of food just in case.
Yeah, this shit
So
gets
why happy ending?
Yeah, you gotta finish.
That's easy,
Yeah,
dude.
you gotta finish.
Yeah, finish it.
You gotta have
Get to your climax of the
That's
point.
how you get to the
Have you-
happy ending.
Have
is
you
gotta
never
finish.
had one?
When you're
Never had one.
Is this a question?
That's why he's miserable
When-
now.
when you're I'd rather be miserable now, dude. Think about it.
I fucking do it.
When you're in the middle of your life, the reason why people end up having those midlife crises is because they begin to either something
You
in
know,
their life-
technically, we're in the middle of our life right now.
you guys are.
Yeah, hey, yo, what if
take
you're
that
at the end
back.
of your
Take
life
that back.
today and you're
Yeah,
like,
he's 40.
fuck, I ruined both.
Some trigger will occur in which either your friends, somebody close to you will die, and then you'll start thinking and contemplating on life and death a lot more than you did before. And then you start wondering if the career choices, the decisions you made up to that point, you realize how much time has flown by, and you're like, wow, I only have this much time left. That's what triggers those midlife crises. They try to gain back the time that they lost when they're in their career or doing something else, trying to either make a success of themselves or then trying to correct mistakes. If that's the case, that's why you have a midlife crisis. If you've already had deep contemplation about what the future holds, then you want to, even if you understand the sacrifices that have to be made at this moment in your life in order to have a conclusion where you can, hopefully, the best way to, I mean, in my point, if you have to die, you want to die in your sleep. You want to die, I mean, not with a pillow on your face, but you want to go out like peacefully, right? You want to go, oh, I knew it, Michelle. Like,
all
you
of a
weren't
sudden
gonna
you
have
have
a
No
choice,
take
huh?
backs. No take backs.
We should have never gone to ARP. Like, you don't want to die that way.
Yeah, but you're
You
assuming
want to die peacefully with your family
You're
around
assuming that
and looking at your grandchildren's faces as they
You'll make
freak
it to
out, like
ARP.
watching you die. You're like, I was gonna have nightmares. For the
You're
rest of the life.
assuming that your choices now are going to make you have that wonderful ending.
Well, yeah, that's the
But
only way
you
you can
don't know
make that's the only way you can make any plan. You have to make assumptions that it's gonna rain tomorrow, so I'm gonna plan for this. You have to make assumptions in order to make plans.
Not Void. He just.
Yeah, Boyd just likes to cheat. I don't know how he does that. He always changes every scenario out so he benefits.
Because I'm not here trying to be
So
miserable,
what was,
dog.
what was
No,
your
nobody is. The point is, look,
Oh,
it's
I'm
not-
trying to
dude.
be happy with what I got, man.
I'm not saying
I'm a
that
very
you-
simple individual.
I'm not
dog.
saying you're not gonna be happy. What I'm saying is,
He's a simple.
if you
kind
had
of
to
man.
choose a path,
You're trying to make
which
it
would
unhappy,
be-
though. That's why I'm like, nah.
I never said you'd be unhappy.
Well,
You're
what
like,
was- what was
take
your
a path.
answer, though?
I'm taking
What
the
was your
fucking
answer?
hot air
A
balloon. Fuck
happy
this.
conclusion.
Happy ending. All right. You know what? After y'all went, like, so Void's perspective is actually really good, but I think there can still be no, but there can still
That's the
be,
whole point. That
No,
you
no,
want to be
but-
melt, but where do you want
yeah,
the
but
where do you
yeah,
want the
but for-
peak of your happiness
But
to
you know
be?
what? For this scenario, from a selfish standpoint, I would say the ending, because you
Yeah.
appreciate everything. You're probably gonna die happy. It's just gonna feel good, like a seamless transition to death.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah,
that's
Captain America
that's
and
really
at the end of
that's
Infinity
really
War.
what you want. But like now, since I got kids, like if the kids are involved, I would say mid, because I don't want to fucking because like if it was ending, like I could have probably fucked up their whole lives. Part of mid, like my age right now or whatnot. What if I didn't have my shit together, and then it just fucks them up, and it's just gonna create the process all over again.
Well, how can you prevent that from
But
happening?
if I can be happy and got my shit together financially or mentally and all that stuff, make them better, and even if they forget about me or whatnot, but they're still great grandkids, great, all that shit, and they fucking forget about me and I'm all miserable, cool, because it's like I still did my job. So even though it sucks, I'm gonna be alone, nobody gives a fuck about
Right,
me.
exactly. You're gonna
it's like
you
I
have
still-
a happy midlife. So then, like, even though you have a shitty ending, right, you can still look back at the memories of like, okay, you grew up in the best parts. You have your kids
Okay,
at home.
but as the ending is coming to you, and if it's a shitty ending, if it's a bad ending,
bro, you're gonna get hit by a truck, right? You're not gonna see it coming. It's
but
gonna
you're
boom.
okay.
you're
I
done.
wonder if that life flashes before your eyes. That's gonna be the worst moment because not only do you have the physical pain to deal with, but then the memories of all the bad things that happened.
Yeah.
That's gonna be horrible. I don't feel like that's worth. I
Yeah,
rather
the
I rather
death-
the ending to be like the best part of it.
Okay, so
And there's a question that
what if
ties
the
into
ending
this.
is just one day?
They're
How,
gonna-
how long is your happy ending? Is it like a few years? Like,
it's the ending. So no
So
matter
you
if
just
it's,
wanna
if it's
die-
a day, if it's a month, if it's
so you rather be
I
happy
would-
for
I
that one
would-
day?
I would say just because he gave 3 answers, you cut it into thirds. You know what I'm saying? So-
Ah!
So, I don't know. You know, the
Okay.
last 30 years, if you're 60 years
Third,
old, the
yeah,
last
third.
20 years of your life. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
That'd be nice, dude. Imagine like you're retiring, you have everything, you got bad news that hey, it doesn't look like you're gonna make it. How much time do I have? I don't know, another 2 years. And like, all right, I'm gonna make the best of it. I'm gonna have a happy. My whole conclusion.
I'm gonna have a real happy ending.
How's this sold out?
I'm gonna put a bunch of like little Easter eggs in my end.
Is it really
credits.
sold out?
It's sold out. Yeah.
What?
So well, we were on a tangent because this got boring conversation about
For
how
real.
I was
I was
wrong.
gonna ask you like, how do you want?
Nah,
to be
you already
remembered?
said I was
How
wrong,
do you want
bro.
to be remembered?
I was like, screw your shit.
But
Let me just interject where I got
Hey, look at
distracted.
this. It's kind of funny.
So I saw
actually.
an ad on from Amazon. Amazon Basic has
Yeah.
this wrench, right?
you're so basic.
But it's one of those like monkey wrenches you can screw on. But on top of that, they're like, but wait, there's more. They fucking had one of those plier wrenches, so it's got a
It's a-
handle
it's
to
a
do a
combo.
release. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then I looked down, it's out of fucking stock. Who the hell's buying this shit? Who? What?
It's the same
Why?
as a
Why?
lock- as a lock wrench.
Why
Yeah,
are you looking at it?
But
if you-
why?
if you-
You know
why
what,
are you
though?
looking at it if you want to
Hey,
buy it too?
that shit came up. It's like, hey,
It's people like you
I feel
that
like
have
ads
to
are
take.
No,
targeted
I
though,
looked at
right?
it to
Yeah.
laugh.
So you got that.
I would
ad
sadly
because
buy that.
you-
You're a
Oh,
freak of
I'm
nature.
a
You know what?
tool
I
guy.
would
Yeah,
too.
I'm a
I
tool
would
guy.
buy it too.
I was never like in my
Hey,
head.
Hey,
that was
you
a
looked
good
up
idea.
cannibalism. Maybe you want one of these wrenches. Like, dude,
Says the guy who wants
there-
to eat somebody.
there
Don't
you go.
fucking
I
come
said
at
I
me,
didn't
bro.
look it up. I didn't
And
look
you
it
brought
up.
it up again on your own.
You're the one getting eaten. Why are you so happy?
Why are you keep pointing at him?
Yeah, bro. You'd be the easiest.
He says like this is the quickest ending.
So what you trying to say, huh?
I'm just saying.
More importantly, though, Caleb Williams won the Heisman. So
Hey,
Who?
that's what I care about. USC quarterback.
Damn,
Did
bro.
you put
just
money
said that,
down
your
on,
life
like,
peak right
DraftKings
there,
or what?
bro.
Say again?
Did you put money on DraftKings or what? What do you?
No.
Oh,
Draft-
I just care about other
Can't
people.
draft rings there.
Accomplishment. That's good.
All I know is that,
I love that.
Mr. Seabum is going to take 4th time Olympia straight in a row. That's all I care about. Also,
But what about that Liver King dude? He's a master.
Ooh, he's
How do
all
you-
natty.
This is
10
another
grand a month.
All
right?
natty.
10
That's
grand a
another
month.
example where your life starts off okay, it gets really good, and now it's gonna taper downwards from there.
But see, he started off with a lie.
But he still has
so-
he has those people that have to
so,
double
like-
down because
like
they were such
Kanye.
big fans.
but he was
But you
already a
liked
millionaire
it,
though.
Like Kanye's fans.
So would you like?
Andrew
Would you
Tate's.
like Kanye's life?
Would I like Kanye's life?
You know, started.
He
you
just
know,
likes Kim
struggling,
Kardashian. That part of
then,
his life.
then hit that shit hard.
Hell no.
And-
Yeah,
and
because
now
then Drake comes out of your
Whoa,
bedroom,
whoa,
you're like,
don't
again?
say it like that.
You want me to make
I
another song
am,
about
I am.
this?
I'm fine. I don't need that much plastic in my life. I'm good. All right.
It's
I heard
But-
plastic
I'll
is
just save
cancer.
the I'll just save the ocean at that point.
Well, okay. Anyway, so what I like Kanye's, what I want Kanye's life, knowing what I know now about Kanye,
Kanye.
I'm good with my life.
Well, my
so would you?
I
choose
don't need to have
All
Pete
right, but
Davidson
it-
raising
it-
my
if you-
kid.
It's weird because he
Would you
talks about a
rather
message about
ending?
peace and love.
Say it
but
again?
It's
if you were
too much.
Kanye, would you rather have the happy ending?
Well, no, because he's not that happy. So
Exactly, because
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. This could be the valley, and this
Yeah.
peak is coming.
But as of right
You never
now,
know.
like if he died today, like it's mid.
Oh, I definitely don't want
He-
this part of
he
his life.
had-
If he's gonna
he
die
had-
today, like,
he had his mid peak. Like right
Right.
now, his fucking life is down. So
Right,
this
right.
would be
To
the
be fair, that's his own fucking fault.
yeah. It's
Definitely.
Well, our lives are technically almost our own fault. You know what I'm saying? So
Listen,
would you-
this
would-
man
would
tried to
you-
ruin my life right now a second ago, and I'm like, nah, well, one day at a time, I'm good. And he's like, nah, fuck that
dude, we
shit.
all live one. How do you live life?
I am,
Everybody lives
but
it
I'm
one
talking
day
about
at a
my mentality. You're like, I want my good time
Dude,
now.
but that's why
or
you,
later.
we all live our life mid, and we all live it a day at a time. What I'm asking you is, in a scenario where you could pick, what would it look like? And you're like, I don't want to pick.
You'd
I
be
just,
surprised
would
at
it
that.
be, though?
I just
But it
want to
would
taper.
it would I
Not
would
everyone
still
lives
be
day to day,
if it's
though.
called mid,
Who
then
doesn't
I'll
live
just be
day to day?
mid.
Dude, there's
Do
so
you live 2 days at a time?
There's so
3?
many. Let me.
How do you fast forward?
Shut up.
Are you in a coma?
Speak. Let me speak.
Let
Man.
Einstein
We
spit
never
the rhymes.
interrupt
This
you.
doesn't involve you. No.
You just.
Dang.
That's pretty
good. Go ahead.
For real. Not many people live in the. Okay, a lot of people live in the past, right? Either some other thing. Many live in the future. Very few live in the actual moment. So
You
that's
just
what
saw
I
that multiverse movie, dude.
mean. Matrix, bro.
It's really good.
The Matrix.
It's really
So,
good.
your life,
Mm.
based on your mindset, I can't say names, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
It's void.
Void.
So your mindset, would you change your answer if you knew that based on your mindset of that baseline, if your mindset keeps you from getting to like a peak that you actually could get to, if you just chose beginning, middle, or end, would that change your answer?
So you're saying that if I had to choose an answer, I would get success
At
that-
some point,
at
you would
that
reach a
point.
higher peak than your mindset where you might
I
only get
literally
a here.
said that.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you
So
fucking.
what? We're trying to phrase it away. I mean,
but
in a way that he understands it.
it's still to me it'll be the same
He's like,
thing.
well,
Not like that.
He's
That's
like,
not-
what if the pie had meat in it? He's like, I'd like that. I'm like, I just said pizza. That's the same thing. He's like, no, but the way he
No,
said
but
it.
like, so when you clarify that way, you can still have success
It's like, oh, well,
even if you work every day, right? Because I believe in due diligence.
what
and
if you eat meat that just happens to
inconsistency,
come from a
right?
human? Like,
so even if I got my success early on, that doesn't mean I just stop there. It means I got to keep working,
that's true.
right?
Yeah.
So what's stopping me from getting success later in life if I just keep working at it anyways?
prenups. That's what.
But you can get prenups.
The moment she
for-
finds out that you got a prenup, and she's like, "What? I thought you said that was just a signature for a house." No, that was behind the prenup that you signed.
So again, to me, I'm like,
You don't own that house.
Success- because the thing is, my difficulty with him is like, oh, you have to choose a time limit. Well, how do I know when mid is for me?
Yeah.
Is mid when I'm 50?
He will
Is
not
mid when I'm
conform.
20 because I'm dying at 30? Like, what the fuck is going on?
With hypotheticals, we gotta set up like a parameter.
That's why
So
they
if-
don't work.
No,
for
but
me.
with him, I need so many
I
parameters.
think I got it. What he's saying is
The pin
instead
action.
of beginning.
Yeah, we made
Hey,
a new word.
yo,
Copyright.
Leonard, chill out.
Copyright
Yo,
podcast.
Instead of beginning, middle, and end, he's gonna be fucking happy the whole
He
way.
literally is
So-
happy the
so
beginning and the middle.
Don't
the
put that fucking curse
Except
on
mornings.
Him. That's what he's
Fuck
saying.
mornings,
Don't
yo.
put me in that fucking situation.
Same. I'm not a morning person.
Because to me, it's like this.
It's like
my,
those
my
parents that
days
hate
start off
magic
shitty.
movies
Does
that
that
have
mean my
magic in it.
beginnings are bad? I hate waking up, yo. I hate it. I fucking hate it so bad. But when I go to sleep, I'm too fucking tired. I'm like, and I can't go to sleep now.
He goes to sleep. Then that's how it goes.
I'm fucking tired, bro.
He gets slept when he goes to sleep.
I feel like I just told a story and did I even give an answer?
No, go
Did I
ahead.
say middle? I don't even know.
No, I
Part
think
of me
you.
I
actually
thought you
thinks
did.
the end now because
Yeah,
just
you
like
said mid.
just like yeah. So now I think I'm gonna change it to the end based on what he just said about
We're gonna go
about
around changing our answers.
regret. No, but I mean,
The eraser.
Well, because he said
I'm
mid.
still sticking with mine.
but that's
dog.
okay, that's
I'm
okay.
just saying,
People
like,
should-
about
You didn't really.
I want
have
my
one.
favorite
I don't
color to
want
be
his
blue again.
answers, though. Why would I
Most-
limit myself
most
with his
people look-
mindset, bro? Like,
most people look back on like the bad things, right?
right.
Okay. And I don't think anyone likes being like this has been. Okay. So
Oh,
if I'm
people, some people.
people, well, true, but I would say I would say that I
Did you just point to God?
No, I did not.
That's
dude.
what I
That's
saw.
the roof. God is not in the roof. He's in heaven. Don't start.
You don't get it.
I wouldn't want to look back and be like, wow.
Allegedly.
Go ahead. We're listening. Don't worry. And the people on here are listening too. Don't worry.
I wouldn't want to look back and feel like I can only look back at all these good times and like nothing's going to surpass that ever again, right? I
Mhm.
want to be able to like look back and kind of think that I'm actually at the top, right?
Yeah.
Because when you talk about like an artist, you don't like being a has-been or like maybe making a song and you can never talk, like you can't top it again.
Yeah.
I feel like that feels absolutely terrible, right?
Yeah. It must be one of the
mean,
worst valleys that you
yeah.
have, especially after you peaked and you
Mhm.
feel like you're never going to peak
So
again.
if I
like that.
peaked in the middle and then the ending of my life is so far down where all I can look back are these good times and know that I can never have it again,
Yeah.
I feel that'd be very discouraging. I mean, you look at someone like Drake. I don't know what you guys have thought about this like newer albums, but it's crazy how like he'll have. It's like a lot of people describe it to me like it's clubbing music because like Drake wants to make stuff for like summer anthems and stuff. So he'll do like champagne poetry. So it's like, hey guys, I can still do this. I can still make an
Yeah.
absolute classic banger.
Yes.
But here's what I want to make. But I can still do it though.
He
I'm
throws
not a
one in
has-been.
there
I
for
can
the
still
for
do it,
the
though.
critics.
I'm
and
still
then,
Drake,
Yeah.
and then here's what I want to create. You know?
Thank you, baby.
So that's what I would say.
Man,
It's
you know
like,
what you're
I don't
talking
wanna
about.
Be, so I don't want to be.
So you're
This
saying
has been, you know what I'm saying?
has both his peaks and lows on the same fucking
He's choosing to
album.
have his lows though because he wants to make this other stuff
At
that
the same
people don't
fucking
expect.
time.
Yeah.
He's having both at the same
So-
time. So
Yeah.
was I fucking right or not?
Well,
Listen,
Linda,
I'm not
shut the fuck
saying
up.
that it's not possible to have a positive perspective in which you'll be happy day by day. I'm not saying that's not an important piece of living life day by day.
Mhm.
This the point of the
But-
scenario
but
was
my answer
you
was
could-
still I want my goods and bads the same day.
everybody does. That's not the point of the question.
No, you're saying you could choose.
You think
what-
I'm not
a
happy?
period.
You think I don't like to
I'm
smile?
pretty
and laugh?
sure you're miserable right now, bro.
Listen. The point of the scenario is not to. It's not like if you say it, it's going to happen. My point is like if you could choose a perfect scenario in which you could model the way your life is going to be, what would it look like? I'm not saying that you can't be happy today. If you have bad days, you have good days. I'm not saying that you can't be mid, because that's what everyone tries to do. Everyone tries to live life accordingly. You know, they want to live a normal, happy life as much as possible. I'm not saying that's not possible. With the scenario that I pointed out, with these three scenarios, is simply
Now it's not possible.
when you deeply think about it, what if you could, would it look like for you? And you kept saying this doesn't apply to me. I'm like, okay, I don't want to answer that question. I understand.
Whoa, I never said never applied to me.
So
silly.
what I said, I put myself in the scenario and I said, I would like, if I could model it, taking things into consideration, regardless of, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna feel happiness ever, but if I could model it, that's what I would want. I would want a happy conclusion to my life, because many times in life you have violent ends, even though you had happy lives, peaceful lives out in the prairie. Cowboys or something happens and they kill your whole family. What a horrible ending to such a beautiful life.
As long as they don't eat me.
So the point
You
is,
would like his hills at the end.
right,
So even though
to watch
you
your
can't
family die or
control-
get to, you
so you can't control the highs and lows, but where would you prefer those highs and lows to be? So would you rather it be in your childhood, your adult life, or when you can get like some sort of senior discount?
So I guess my answer is I want it sprinkled throughout every day.
oh my
That,
god,
again, literally,
Jesus,
I'm a guy about balance. I really am. I don't
God,
want an
if
ending
you
or
had to-
crazy yet.
If you had a bunch of valleys like in a row, let's just say you had like, man, I had like 2 bad years in a row. Like this was trash, unavoidable.
I think
Would
that
you
happened
rather
a few
that
years
that
ago.
happened in like that childhood, or like after you graduate college, terrible investment, your whole like you moving out and getting a house all messed up, or it's like, oh man, I messed up my retirement and now I'm living in this terrible
Wait for
situation.
this answer. I can see
Okay.
him gearing up. Go ahead.
Well,
So we
no,
got
it-
2
no,
years of
he's got a
lows.
good
Where do you-
answer
where do
question,
you
but
want
like
it?
Change it up
I
last
would
second.
still not have a difference. Like, because think about it. If I was worried about my future,
Yeah.
I'd work on it now. If I was worried about today, I'd change what I can do. I can't change the past, which means my beginning's kind of gone a shot anyways.
Okay, so doesn't matter if the heights are at the beginning. We're getting
I'm gonna
there.
get pizza.
There's
It doesn't matter when.
there are
It really
2
doesn't
answers
matter.
left.
It did. No, it doesn't
Okay.
matter when.
All right, Z has left the building, so now
Because
we have time to talk shit.
you're saying 2 years, right? What happens if it happens 2 years afterwards? I get
Everybody,
good years.
so we were me, Nate, and the homie Einstein. We were not sword fighting in the restroom right now,
Yeah.
and we came to this conclusion that we all agree with Void.
Yeah, we all agree with Void.
We want a good life every
yeah,
fucking
we-
day.
we
Right?
all-
We want to live life.
I want
every
goods and
single
bads
at a
every day.
time.
We all agree with Void, so yeah.
Trying to dictate us.
Right? How dare he, Mr. Dictator over here?
Notice,
did you know?
how,
Did you
notice
know?
how everybody's happier now. that he's
Mr.
gone.
Messiah.
Right?
Everybody's
It's
just,
weird, huh?
Void, is this what you feel like every day?
Oh,
when,
great,
like,
man.
when you
I
don't
have a
agree with
fidget
him?
spinner. I'm fucking dope right now, dog.
I'm not trying to press you. Do you play video games?
Yeah,
What kind of games?
I do RTS, so real-time strategy games.
Okay, so that's why I'm actually wondering. It's like, would you like, hey, I don't like this game. Like these physics are bad. This is not realistic. You want to
Well,
go into that game where it's like,
The
hey,
reason
this is
why I
actually
like the
what's up.
games is because I can
You know
spend
what I'm
time with them.
He
There you go.
hates.
I
he
enjoy
hates
it.
games
Okay.
where like they start off with a struggle. Like when you
Like,
got
don't
the
get me wrong,
nights.
competitive
Batman
games are like
died, he was
instant,
fucking
quick,
pissed.
last seconds, and those are great
Yeah.
for like the brain thrillers. I'm a chill guy.
Yeah,
I don't want to be like, oh, I got to
Gotcha.
make a decision now. Man,
But I have some
I
friends
just
where
wanna
I don't
control
like
the
this
existence
game
of my
because
game.
like this thing is not real, like realistic. The recoil is messed up. But like in real life, this would not.
but
you
it could
know
be
what I'm saying?
great. Like it's
Yeah.
fun. Like
Gotcha.
I know everyone hates Battlefield. I love Battlefield.
Yeah.
I love the customization. I love
There
the
we
team.
go.
I love the trash talking. I love it.
Mm.
But will I do it for no long extended hours? I'm fucking drained, dog.
Gotcha.
RTS, I'm chilling, just mellow. Again, that's how I live life. Bad things happen, good things happen. Cool. And that's literally what I do every day.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I would rather it be sprinkled. Like, if it's like, oh, 1 minute's good, 1 minute's bad, let's do that. Let's alternate minutes. I don't give a fuck. You know, whatever random shit happens, that's how I want my life. If that's more specific to your
So
time.
everything is in real time, and then whatever happens based on his choices happens, and all right,
And that's how I,
feel like
prepare.
you
that
should-
makes sense.
Yeah, that's how I prepare.
You should definitely
I'll take
play
it.
like.
He
I
wants
think
control.
we got somewhere. 100%.
No, I just want control for me, of
Yeah.
me, and
Yeah.
I want it balanced.
by controlling everyone else. That's what
No,
he-
everyone. I want everyone to have their own choice, but I want to be able to live my
But I
life the
wanna-
way I want.
I want to choose for them. They can have their own
I'm
choice.
not,
I want
I'm not
everybody
choosing
to.
anyone's
I
life.
want
What do you
everybody
mean?
to have their
Well,
own
like,
choice
you
as long
gotta
as I
move-
allow it.
Move units here, move
Yeah,
units there,
exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Like,
that's
they're
because
pawns.
that you're playing against another enemy.
I got you.
So they're still living their life anyways, and I have to interact.
That's why you hate
around it.
scenario questions, because you're like, you're not going to tell me how to play my scenario.
Yeah,
I'm
because your
gonna-
scenario's dumb. You're asking me to put myself in there. I'm like, I wouldn't do that, and I'm telling you, I'm not doing that.
You made
I-
him speechless. Wow,
He's
good,
like,
good shit.
It's the same shit we do
Made him
all the
speechless.
time.
I wanted to say something so bad, but it would ruin the taste of my pepperoni. So I'm like, I'm not
Yeah,
even
you
going to say
can-
nothing.
do it.
Yeah,
I'm
do
just,
it.
I'm,
You
no,
do
I'm-
it. Probably
PG,
hate-
bro. Keep it PG.
You,
I
he
hate
wanted that.
flipping coins.
He wanted that sausage in his mouth, bro.
PG.
Bro, he was about to call you Mexican, man.
Unless you want
I already heard it.
Oh,
I already
my
felt it.
Okay. So then, how would you want to be remembered?
He just told you.
Void the Great.
Shut. He just told you. Void the God or what?
Void-
I,
Void
I
the
actually
Emperor.
don't want to be remembered.
Yeah, we gotta fill some time.
No, no. All right, let me explain, right? Because your boy,
Oh, what kind of watch was that, by the way? That was a good one.
your boy's a junior in real life, right? So I could have been a third, and they're like, "Oh, you want us to that legacy?" No,
But they stole
I
that control
don't
away
want
from you.
to extend another legacy. I don't want a legacy because then I have to put in effort with who I'm gonna be remembered as, And I'm like, that's a lot of fucking work, bro.
You
Like,
just want to be
So he
lazy.
just, yeah, I was about to say. So you just want to coast. You want to. So there's people that want to be up here. There's people want to they're just down there. He just wants to be
Listen,
one of them. Just
as a
don't-
kid, either
don't
you
let
do
me
as
down.
I say or nothing at all.
That's why
That
you
kind of
hate-
kills your ambition.
Yeah,
why you hate
right?
neutral.
He goes. You
So now that you're like, oh, you have choice, I don't want to do any of this shit, bro.
yeah, he
I
goes-
want to sleep a fucking day.
What's your tombstone saying?
It's gonna be
What
blank
does
as a
it say?
motherfucker.
He says,
Or it's gonna be digital with ads, and I'm getting paid for that shit.
it's
One
gonna
of those
be-
fuckers.
it's gonna say
YOLO.
he got out the way. 'Cause
He
you
got out
either-
the way.
You either lead, follow,
It's
or
gonna say
get out
not
the
fast
way.
enough.
No, see, everyone gets out of the way. I'm like, I'm making my own thing,
Oh
and no
my
one's gonna
God.
be
He
there.
thought he could
I'm
jump.
happy.
His tombstone just void.
We know he can't fly.
Empty.
He thought he could fly.
His
Whose,
tombstone.
whose
Fuck Z.
opinion?
I was happy. I was mid tier every day. So-
It's gonna be IZ, I'm dead, or am
He's
I?
like-
You just depends with them off.
Should have not reenacted that Toy Story scene. Is it just like flying over the mountain or what?
Whose opinion do you value the most? And you're like, I don't know, it could be like a parent or brother or girlfriend or wife.
No,
or
not you.
whatever.
Don't get excited.
Oh, is it?
Like me?
You got so happy right now.
Who is it?
I argue with him like the most, and he's like, my opinion's valid. I'm like, get the fuck out of
Or
here.
who would you say it is, bro?
My mentor.
Don't
He-
say your girl.
So no, my mentor
He goes, "You are my girl."
way back before
Yeah.
Chill Void existed. I was very aggressive. I was like, this motherfucker, and it was terrible.
This is chill. This is chill, boy.
This is Chill Void.
This is chill.
Yo, boy, I was always like hard headed, never listening. I was just like, I fucking do whatever
Well,
I
you
can.
changed so much. I don't even recognize
And-
He wakes up in the morning.
And literally,
Oh, let's get started.
he's like, woo! My mentor was like, dude, man, relax. I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
And he actually, I think the reason why I learned so much from him is because he gave me so many opportunities to fuck up.
Mm.
And he's like, go for it, run into that fucking wall. And I was like, "Rrr."
Put,
then
put
when
the fork in the
when I got
outlet.
tired of it, he's like, did you learn something? I don't want to do that. I'm like, all right, now let's do this the right way, the
Okay.
calm way, the collected way, the think about way.
Got you.
And that's when I really changed to like, I need to prepare for a lot of things. I got to have
Yeah.
all my shit ready. I got to be knowing what I'm thinking about next.
Mm.
No,
Steps,
but you don't plan the
moves.
future. You do it day
No,
by
but
day.
I plan what I can do.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Not
So-
what others or the future, what I can do to be ready for something, right? Hey, I want to go to college. I need to save up money. I need to go play this. Cool. I want to get this job. I need to study for this. I need to get this cert. I need to go work there. Cool.
Yeah.
I need to apply. I need to know who to talk to.
Mm.
That's in my head all the time.
Okay.
It's
Like
always
a
running.
normal human being.
I don't
Yeah.
want chaos out here. It's already in
Mhm.
there. So I'm
Got
just
you.
gonna live my actions as lightly as possible
Okay.
without affecting the world. Right.
So his opinion of you actually probably matters because it's someone you hold in higher regard. And we always, I feel like everyone has their own like version of us, right?
Mentor.
Okay.
You know. Oh,
Everyone has a version of us that like this is what they think that we're all about. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is someone whose opinion you actually care about. So whether or not we like it, everyone remembers us under some sort of different legacy. So let's just say that he was the guy to put the text on the tombstone. That guy's whose opinion of you actually care about. What do you think he would write on there for you? Okay, because
he would put
this guy
he
has
would-
a pretty good.
he-
You know,
version
I
of you.
respect
I
you
would-
so
I
much.
would
'cause
say-
you find a way to say the exact same question in such a way
But
that
no, but for real, though,
I like that.
No,
I
the
like
thing
that.
is,
That's
he's
how
known
you
me
do it.
since then, and he's like, your nickname.
I think I
So
feel like there's
at the
some-
computer shop when I used to work at, they would not give you a name. You would be intern
Mm.
for your whole internship, unless you were something that was worth a damn, right? So you either prove it,
worth the damn intern.
like you prove that you're worth some shit, and then you get a nickname, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, internship would make me dress up. So I had your boy had a
Okay,
tie,
okay.
had a vest. I was in my chinos, and they're like, oh shit, you're suave. So I got the intern name
Rico Suave.
Rico Suave.
Yeah. Okay.
So that motherfucker will definitely put that shit on the tombstone because that's the
Okay.
only thing he'll know about,
Okay.
right?
if he doesn't die before you.
No, that's why. But he was asking. He was asking about a situation where he had to make the tombstone.
Oh, but now you're making situations.
But he can make a tombstone now.
But you think
He does, I don't, no one has to be dead for the tombstone to
I'm
be
sorry.
made, dog.
I'm making him on because I know he does. He hates it when
Gotcha.
I take control of it. When I put a scenario.
No, anyone can make it do something now. When I
But
use
you
it,
think
probably
that
not.
that's all this guy thinks of you is that you be dressing nice? I mean,
I think he
I feel
he
like
knows
he
that
sees
that
more-
was
it's more
He
something.
boiled your
Subtle, man.
existence down to your dress.
No way.
He
Like, you suck as a tech.
Nah.
Man, you dress
he
nice.
he bequeathed the name onto me, and
Gotcha.
that's how I was able to stand out from everyone else.
Explain bequeath for those people.
Bequeath,
So you got queef.
gift,
There's
there's a
granted,
th in there somewhere, boys.
Yeah, the
Is it when
silent
you're-
letters.
is it when you're about to queef?
not queef.
To
Hey,
queef?
Urban Dictionary. Go ahead, everyone. Go ahead.
Anyways, to don a name, right? He was like, I don't just give that name out to anyone,
Yeah.
especially within a month of working in.
So you were you were
Half the
knighted.
people don't understand what Rico
Essentially.
sounds like. It's like
So he's like, you have a talent and a skill, you just have to hone it, and that's where he really set me back to. You need to calm your ass down to learn. to understand what you're capable of first before you go and do it.
You must cut the fabric just
So
right. if you
again,
wanna
that
be
was a
Rico
lesson
Suave.
he taught me,
Einstein.
and because of that, I was
I
able
said quick.
to
Void's
foundation.
last 2 words. What do you say?
I don't know. I'm texting.
That's exactly what he would say.
Texting.
Yeah, I was
That's more than 2 words.
That's on his tombstone.
So I think your legacy, maybe. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to answer
No,
for
go
you. I'm
for
just
it, go
trying
for
to
it.
put- but
Legacy or
maybe-
legacy?
Oh my
Legacy.
god.
Like a we.
Maybe
It's
you're.
a meme.
Ligma.
Now you understand. Now you
Drop
getting it. Yeah, I see the
I got
frustration
you.
being back.
No, I'm here for it. Okay, maybe your legacy is just that you are a very conscious person of what you do day to day life. You don't just take things like service value. Everything you do is methodical and planned out, and that's kind of who
At
you
least
are.
on my end, yes.
On your end. Yeah, 100%.
This is like a Trump
That's-
interview. You're
that's-
trying so hard to
That's
humanize
the
him.
legacy. No.
Like, or like Biden, you're trying to like, so you're saying is, and he's like, no, I absolutely hate little poor kids. Like, no. What you're saying is that you don't like people
you're
that don't
saying
value
that he
education.
needs to
No,
interview
yeah, I hate
Kanye a
poor
little bit
people. Like, no, you're trying so hard to help them.
I know how it is to be a host, so it's like
Dude.
you got to get something out of it. Like
Oh, now
each-
it's him, man. I
each
threw
guest,
tomatoes
and
at
then
the
we
wall,
move on.
man. No.
Tomatoes at the wall.
Okay,
But my man can't aim at the wall.
how would you want to be remembered? Boom. I'm gonna get these.
Damn, round 2 already.
You know, I used to think about like wanting to be remembered like a lot. Like that shit mattered a lot. To me, you know, I kind of narrowed it down to at least the people that I feel that love me or that I matter to them. You know, just remember like, you know, I was there for them and helped them out, whatever, or at least
Bro, you have such a so me answer. Like I know where you're going with this because like you're a dad also, and like I literally understand where you're going with this.
Yeah, now I forgot because you fucking really interrupted me.
Oh,
Nah,
I'm
just-
sorry.
Hey, all the kids do
No,
that
like,
nowadays,
you know,
bro.
It used to.
She's like, I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna walk out.
Baby, come back.
Bye.
No, don't leave, daddy.
Nah, but
You
like, you
scared
know,
me.
now
He's
I'm
gonna go
like,
get some milk.
That's the last time we heard
That
of
was-
it.
That's how we
Yeah.
see him for 20
just,
years.
just please come back.
Cigarettes.
The line was long.
No,
The line was long.
We have milk at home.
We have almond milk.
I mean, just you know, someone that'll be for you when they can. You know, I used to always want to try to, I guess, kind of like be hero and kind of force it, but now like you know, you just let it happen. You know, it can do it. I want to just make the world a better place. You know, just like did my part, but also looked out for my family because I don't think a lot of people understand how important it is to like raise a good family, raise good kids, because that literally makes the future. You know, kids are the future. I know you heard that a lot, but like if you don't take care of them, a lot of people, I'm focused on my career, I'm focused on this and that, and you neglect the people at home. Yeah, cool. You made a good lifestyle for them, but you weren't there. You know, you didn't get to educate them in a lot of things. They got educated at school. They got educated by their friends. So like if you can just, you know, do your part at home, I think it'll just make the world a better place. So, you know, just for that, and then just, you know, anybody else I interact with, like if I can help you or make your day better or anything like that from my experiences, you know, that's what I like to be remembered for.
And I
you know?
want to commend that. It's not an easy path, you know. To be a mentor is like the hardest thing ever because not only do you have to have your shit together, you have to help
Yeah.
someone else get their shit together. And that right there is the hardest thing. That's why educators, you know, hats off to them. Those bastards stick with us, even though we're the dumbest
Yeah.
shit at the time. Like you're like, oh, why are you doing this? Because you thought it was cool. You just looked stupid in front of them. But they still said, you know what? Let me hold up and help you out still. Like I said, patience is like a big key thing that not everyone has, but being able to do something with that, like being a parent, being a friend, a mentor, that takes time, effort, energy. And you know what? Those who do it, God bless them, but or whoever bless them, you know. But it's not easy. So yeah, I see your point of view, and you know, helping people out. It's a little thing, but sometimes that's the little thing that gets them through the day.
Yeah, it does. Just one thing can make a huge difference. You know, just talking to somebody, listening to somebody, you know, just I don't know, a thoughtful gesture just makes a huge difference. Because I know that's like the same thing that happened to me before. You know, and you know, in my past, like it helps, man. You don't think it does, but it helps.
Hands off.
Yeah, I think either way you go about it, either maybe you had like maybe you had some parents where things were like very rough and it was 100% because of your parents. So then when you grow up, you think, man, I want to be the opposite of that. I'm gonna make sure I take care of my kids and I like set them up. Or you have like very good parents and very good upbringing, and then you appreciate that so much that you're gonna do it again. So I don't know which one it was for you. I'm not trying to have you go into it exactly right, but I mean maybe for you it was one or the other. And then you identified that like, yeah, my parents did a great job, so I'm gonna do a great job, or hey, they did a bad job, so I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. You know, if you think about it,
So
you
it's a
know,
mixed
I
bag
think,
every day?
I think, yeah, I'm gonna complicate this shit like UV. You know,
Let's do it.
you know, because I think it's just I don't know, being conscious, being self-aware, like it sucks, but it's great
exhausting.
at the same time.
Jesus.
Like that ignorance is bliss thing is completely like true. Like my mom raised 5 kids on her own after, so I had two dads. So two dads didn't want me. But
Both of them want to go get milk.
yeah,
Oof.
both of them in two different stores.
As long as he didn't
Oh,
pick
what
up
if
the
both
other
of them
guy.
actually got together and made a
That's
holy
what,
family?
For a second, I was
Exactly.
thinking about like,
Yeah, two dads. Oh,
Hey,
okay.
as long as they're happy now. But nah, like my mom raised us on her own, 5 kids, and she wasn't perfect. And growing up, I used to be really teed off. I was the youngest. My brothers and sisters, like they've been through some shit with her, and it's kind of like shit rolled downhill. And I took
The brunt of it.
yeah yeah, that. I don't know if it was blunt, whatever the fuck it was.
Right.
But yeah,
Both work.
I took that and I was like, fuck, like what the fuck? Like I'm nothing like them. You know what I'm saying? I purposely try to avoid all the same things that they were doing. But it's like I get it. She was exhausted. Like I was pissed at the time at a young age. But now it's like, you know what? Raising kids, especially having kids now, is fucking hard. 1 is hard, 2 is fucking hard, 5 is fucking crazy, and on your own is really fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
But
it's
you
like,
know she did you right because you're able to understand it now.
yeah. Even if that was her intention or not, now I can see like where she's coming from. When I learned more about her mom and their family, and I see everything going on, I'm like, now I know, like it's not really just her fault. Like we got an accountability for ourselves to a huge extent, but at the same time, it's what happened before us. Our family before, our surroundings before, because that all impacted us. And now it's kind of like I understand when she says certain things or does certain things, that's her way of showing these certain emotions and these feelings and whatnot. It's not the way I feel like it should be, but it's the way that how she grew up and how they express themselves and whatnot. I just gotta like translate that into my understanding. It's fucking hard because I'm like, fucking no, you're not doing it right. In the movies it's supposed to be like this, but it's crazy.
Wait, so you're saying that life isn't like Hollywood?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I didn't know
That's
that.
weird.
But like you said, you recognize the effort. You recognize the strength and the will it took, and it was not easy. Because you're like, would I be able to do that? Sometimes when you ask that fucking question, you're like, shit, And that's when you either I gotta fucking step up or not. And not everyone can take that path. So again, like I said, hats off to our mentors, our friends, our family that really stand by us. Our teachers, that poor bastards have to get us through the day. It's
Yeah,
tough.
for sure. Like we was mentioning, just doing that one thing, because I didn't really have a lot of people like that. But every once in a while, I kind of felt like there was just a person or two that was just at the right place, the right time
Mhm.
to keep me going. You know what I'm saying? And that means a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, like I remember shit like that because I'm like, yo, like that helped me kept going because this shit sucks. You may not be there for me every day, but that's what I just enough of what I needed at that time.
It's funny because I see my life in like events, right? So every day happens for sure. But the events that come in to be like, this is a new chapter. This is either makes or breaks you. How I see the events. That's why I'm like, how they come. Because if I do a good or a bad one, I have to just keep on going anyways. The next day might not be the exact same.
You're
situation.
describing reality. You're just.
I know.
You're
I am.
just-
That's the whole
Jesus.
fucking point, dog.
But you live in
But-
like turning points. Where, like, hey,
I
this
live
is where
at
things
those.
start going
I live in
boom.
those nexus
I like you.
points for
I
me.
got you.
I feel like I live in a house. You know what I'm saying? And I go to sleep on a bed. I sleep.
I
Do
feel
you
like
understand what I mean?
I'm
feel
saying
like I
those
see
are
everything
highlights
first
for me,
person.
and
Yeah.
that's what I remember. I don't remember
Yeah.
what the fuck did I eat last week. No, I remember. Holy shit, this person was there for me right when I was feeling this, and this, and then it could have gone entirely bad. If I think about what would have been like if they weren't fucking there, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit, that would have been hella different. Could have been a normal day that could have just turned my life upside down, and that's why I don't want to see it as like, oh, it's a good or a bad thing. It just happens
But it is a good or bad thing, isn't it?
until you think about it as a bad thing. Yeah.
But
I'm
if someone-
saying I'm grateful for that being there because if I think about it, them not being there, now it's a
Look,
bad thing.
I'm sorry. I
No.
shouldn't apply logic to when you're just expressing yourself. But sometimes it's hard because some of the expressions they're real to you, but I understand. I respect it.
No, you don't.
I do respect it.
That's why he's rolling his eyes out so
No.
hard, bro.
No, because I couldn't
I can
believe
hear his eyelids clap.
You know what? You were saying like, is it a good or bad thing? But to be honest, like shit, as simple as you can make shit out to be, it most of the time, like it ain't. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fucking gray area that a lot of people don't comprehend or don't do. Like being aware and all this shit. There's some people that just don't give a fuck and think and just do whatever the fuck
Right.
they
They
want.
go by
And
instinct,
they go
by emotion.
you know, by good or bad and
And
all that shit. But
This is what we talked about this several weeks ago, about the thought that nothing is ever as simple as it seems. You don't understand something, well, maybe God knows, but you don't. Like, I mean, come on. People used to say, like, I don't understand the weather because God understands and you don't. But we didn't have the technology. People can chalk things up to a lot of things, and it's fine. If that helps comfort a person, then that's what it should be. If you're trying to reason why your small daughter or son died, and you're like, well, it's because they wanted an angel. I'm like, that may be comforting to some people, but that's not the reality of what happened. Right? It was a disease that no one could see. It was an accident. So many things could happen, but just to make people feel better, I don't think does them the justice of admitting the truth. So when someone says I'm ruled by emotion, or I want to feel happy, or I want things to be, sometimes you need deep sorrow in order for you to accept the reality of chaos that is the world, the universe. There's symmetry, there's action, there's order, and there's a huge amount of chaos throughout all of existence. If you don't think about those things, then you'll never be like truly at least at peace. If you want to be at peace, you have to understand the truth.
Yeah,
And I feel people don't do that a lot.
definitely not, because you know
It's hard to admit the truth.
It's a slippery slope.
Hold on, guys.
It's hard to admit the truth.
Einstein's pointing at something.
Stop pointing at that, dude.
I'll put it in.
It was
Put it
gross.
in. Oh, there we
No.
go.
Happy,
I was-
happy Antichrist.
I was
you-
trying to make this guy geek.
I was just curious. Like, he was just pointing at something. I'm like, what are you pointing at?
What is it, boy?
You don't have kids? You don't have a significant other? Oh, what's going on? This boring you?
No.
What is this?
What is that? Yeah, Z, explain it.
What he's
In-
doing
in
is
your
he's putting
own
his mouth
words.
over this microphone. That's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He goes,
Gator.
when a man and a man is in love,
Yeah.
You know, the garage and limousine.
Trained
Okay, so-
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
the
So
Big
people
Mac
try to
truck-
find ways to rationalize things,
Right.
and if
But
they don't, then you
And
can't
I've
make sense of
known
anything.
you, Nate. I'm pointing at.
I just met you.
I've known you for many years.
He's been stalking you. He's known you. You've known him barely.
yeah,
I know
He's
everything
known
about you.
Just know.
You also need to stop cutting the bushes around your house. It's like, it makes it really
I can't
hard.
see through your windows.
I can't camp out there. So listen,
You can't climb trees.
I've known you for a long time. I've seen you make sacrifices for people that don't appreciate it, but you continue to do it because you love those people. And that I understand that. Sometimes either you make the sacrifices for others, or you don't care about other people, right? You were saying that there was moments in life where you really didn't feel like anyone cared about you because they just, they used you as a tool, like do
didn't.
this, do that. Right. Okay.
They did it.
Right.
It's not that a feeling. I knew about it at that point. I was like, fuck.
Okay. But that's a dark way to look at things because it's not
It's the
accurate.
truth, though.
It's no, that's your truth. I
No,
understand
no.
that.
I saw it and I was like,
you know what's
fuck.
crazy is it didn't, when you just said that right now, it's not like how you were, speaking earlier, because you kind of had like more of a positive outlook on everything. But
He
you
does
know,
now.
like
He does have a very
because
that's good, and that's a good thing to
Because
do.
I went
And
through
that-
shit.
and it's like, yeah, they
I went through hell and back. I deserve to be fucking happy, bro.
see, I used to be like that too, though, like with the whole, like they did, like, because people do take advantage.
They do.
But with like, I would only say few are really, aware of them actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? There's only a few really, really good people and a few really, really shitty people that just don't think, or they're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what they're doing. I don't care if I'm killing them or hurting them or whatever the hell. Like, I'm gonna keep doing
Some
me.
people
You know
just
what
do
I'm
it because
saying?
they're hurting themselves, and I get that
Exactly.
too.
You
Whole
know,
hurt
people
But that does
hurting
not
people.
excuse
people
what
that
their
are in
actions
customer
are.
service
definitely
understand this concept of you may have 100 customers and 80 of them are great and a few of them are like not memorable, not bad or good, but all you need is 2 or 3 bad ones and their whole day is ruined, even if they happen in the beginning of your day. And it's easy for us to fixate on that negative aspect of it. For you, you're saying that my whole childhood, a lot of my childhood was like being either with parents or family who did not love me, did not treat me well. But that's painted through the lens of your memories, and memories are so tricky because you can add additional details or emotions that weren't really related to it.
I agree with that. But I've also have learned from those experiences to allow people to either express themselves or stand up on their own, right? So say me and you had a falling out, right? This is just a hypothetical.
That would never happen, but go ahead.
It's a hypothetical.
Oh,
because
now,
You guys are so
oh,
in sync.
I'm
I-
giving,
I love him.
I'm giving you a full scene. Though,
he knows
right?
I love him. He knows it.
I give you a full scene. We have a falling out, right? And everyone's like, well, you should forgive him. I'm like, listen, he's forgiven. He just needs to say, hey, I'm sorry. And it's instantly okay.
Wait.
But
Okay.
and here's the reason why, right? Because there's in my philosophy class we took that he's like there's 7 steps to an apology. Right?
Another example when school ruins you, right there.
Yeah, the first-
my
the
class
first step-
said my class said that I can't apologize to you yet.
No, the first step is someone recognizes they did something wrong, right? The recognition that inside, oh shit, I fucked up, you know?
As long as it's legit though. This
That-
nigga's
well,
just
again,
saying sorry just to
We're having
Some
Gina
people
come
could just
on the
apologize,
show, but
right?
I want you to finish your thought. Gina,
I'm not gonna finish
hold
mine.
on a second. Sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
let her go.
No, I mean, you're in the middle of the thought.
Man, that's fine.
Scene.
It's all right.
Your philosophy
No,
is seen.
there
All
we
right,
go.
all right.
See.
I remember you guys hadn't fallen out. So
All right.
We still do.
Gianna, sorry, I said it wrong. Gianna, what's your opinion on what we're talking about?
Hi.
Go for it.
Fix them.
Yeah.
No, wait,
Please.
hold on. Let's listen. Hold on. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Right. Okay. Well, I think you're right on many aspects, and I think it's. I mean, that's why opinions are the way they are. I think because you need a baseline to base things off of. Like if you both believe that one believes fire is hot, the other one believes fire is cold. They have two different belief systems, but obviously one of them is closer to the reality of what is real.
Second guy didn't get burned. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. One of them didn't get burnt. Maybe that's what they expected. Maybe they can get burned from cold fire too, or something, right? Or however it might be. But when I guess I might be 100% wrong, but when I talk to him specifically about his experience, I feel like if many people have been able to beat trauma through strength and being able to understand where they come from, or at least the events that happen to them based on what they believe, there's ways to not muscle out of it, but there is experiences that are true. Like when you mentioned the word, like you think about the connotation that comes with fat. I I tend to believe that a lot of times, like that word specifically, I think it's useful because I used to be a fat kid. And I know some people don't like the idea of saying that, hey, fatness is a bad thing, but I mean, I don't think it was healthy. I don't think it was a good thing. But the motivation of people calling me that like, allowed me to get super incredibly fit. And it propelled me in the right direction. Some people don't get propelled, but I think it's because they're missing the positive, affirmations or the positive reinforcement to know how to escape that piece of their like personal life or that moment that they're in. And I don't know if that's correct. That's right. Right.
Yeah. Tr- Trauma motivation.
But sometimes you can't. You live in your own shell, so you might not even know that there's something wrong with you until someone tells you. There's some people that are addicted to drugs and don't realize that's an addiction or a problem. Some people do, but some people don't without someone else telling them. Like if someone tells me like you're fat, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad about it, but then I realize, hey, you know what? It is making me unhealthy. I got to read like I want to prove to them that being fat is not a problem. And the more you look into it, there's so many like health conditions, so much stress on the physical body itself. You find out that hey, you know what? They weren't wrong. You're not, and I'm a skeptic at heart. I don't take information. I'll take information, but I don't tend to believe it right away. So when they were telling me these things, it affected me because they're giving me their perspective. Hey, why are you fat? You know, you don't fit in your shoes, and your belly's showing out of your stomach,
Because
out of
I'm
your
hungry
shirt.
all the time.
Yeah, and but those things like really did allow me to see that there was a problem and it could get worse over time, and that allowed me to correct it in just in time. But if somebody gave me maybe if they chose like I guess sweet words to describe the situation, I wouldn't have understood the impact and how
Somebody
important it
sugarcoated
was.
it.
It would have enabled you.
It would have kept enabling me to continue down that path. And right now, maybe I wouldn't be here. Maybe I would be in a much worse off situation. So I understand where some
All
people come from.
6'2", 6-pack, beautiful,
Yeah,
A
right.
six-pack of
sexy
Modelo's.
Squidward looking like guy.
And I don't think that's
Squidward.
for everybody. Everybody has different ways to motivate. Some people are motivated by love, and some people do need that tender way to describe what they're in. But I feel like for most of us, it helped me because I understand the pain that I have to go through in order to transform things. So now when I feel pain in other areas, I understand you can't go through life without that. Animals go through that. Everything in existence that feels pain understands what pain is to some degree. But I don't know, to run away from it doesn't. I don't think it's. I mean, for me, I don't think it's healthy for me. So when I hear someone like my friend here describing something, I love him, but I don't want him to look back at his history and be like, it's all negative. I'm like, yeah, there was 100% there was negative things. I wasn't there. I don't understand, and I'll never understand it fully. But I know because I went through several things too, that there's more than one way to look at it. And when he's describing it, he focuses on that. So it shows that there's still something there that hasn't been resolved. If I'm explaining myself correctly.
Yeah, I would say you are. The problem would be it's just like when it comes. I feel like he may have not have said it, but your opinion does matter to him. But it's just kind of how it comes. How it's no, no, like legit, because it just depends how it comes off. Like somebody can tell you all the right fucking things, but if they say it the wrong way, it ain't gonna get through to you. So when you're talking to him, and it's kind of like you're putting his mindset down, and you're like joking around and all that shit, it's not gonna get through to him, whether you're right or wrong. Just like Zach here having to re-explain you. Of course, he's coming off from a different. There's no history there, and he's coming off more humble, more genuine, and so it's gonna come off that way. You know what I'm saying? It's a the perspective of him, and then the tone of how someone else is delivering it.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean,
Yeah.
Dope. So
Yeah.
so as the guy who went through that, I would like to say it's not
hold on, we're
about.
talking about your abuse. Sit
No,
down. Hold
let
on.
me,
Hold
let,
on.
let
Hold
me
on.
get there. If there was any abuse or any a negative connotation in my life, it wasn't to say like, oh, my life was terrible. No, it's to say that there was a situation that is never going to get remedied. Because I believe that if I really need to give them forgiveness, they have to step up and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I messed up. And those are individuals who know they fucked up because I've called them out on it. I'm like, you did this, this, and this, and you act like you're nothing better than that. And that's where I said the dark
But
part
what
of
if you can't get closure? You have to be prepared for those
again,
moments too.
I told him that was my closure. Do I want to get a nice bow at it? No. I'll put it in a
Well-
box and throw the
Well,
box
didn't
away.
you just say you just
It's-
want them to forgive you?
It's
No,
in,
I
it's
said
in their
if-
court though. At least he initiated.
I'm
it.
done.
It's now we're starting
I'm done.
out with the apology. It's up to you to go next.
Like the genuine.
So on my part, I
Mhm.
You owe it to the situation though, right?
Yeah.
You owe it. Like part of the apology comes from, or like at least from your perspective, it came from you initiating it, and then that's all. And then you just leave you just leave
Yeah.
it there.
But I think what I had, I guess, a small issue with, and it's fine. You know, you have your. I know that you've come through. You've shown strength and love in other areas. You've grown from the past you came from. In my mindset, again, it's my mindset, and I start with that preface because I know that it doesn't explain everybody's viewpoint. I I don't have a dad that really was there for me when I was growing up. Like nobody to teach me like how to shave, how to do manly things, how to do well manly things as in like the things that most guys would already know how to do. I grew up in a single parent household. I grew up seeing a mother have to struggle and become a two parent role by herself and then not wanting to get remarried to not damage the me, right? But I saw her sacrifice for me and that I wanted to be stronger. I didn't want that to be I didn't want to ruin her life because of and that's not again that's not the right way to say it, but I didn't want her to suffer further because of me. So I had to take ownership of myself. If we only had like $20, I would make that, I would stretch that. Instead of asking for new clothes every year for summer or for like school, I would find a way to hustle. I would find a way to make things happen. And that taught me determination. And then I came across students or kids that were having issues and they were like, oh, my parent doesn't love me. He bought me this 1990 something Beamer when I asked him for a Lexus. And I'm like, that's not your situation, but there's people that have full family units, even if they're not perfect, even if they have abusive. My dad beat my mom. She lost some teeth. And I mean, it all happened to everybody that I knew. All the kids that I grew up, we all grew up the same. There was abuse that we had to accept that this is what's happening, but we have to grow because at the end of the day, if he goes to jail, he's just removed from the family. But I still don't have him, right, or whatever. And I'm not excusing his actions. I know that what he did was wrong. I know all those things that happened. But as you go through life, you realize you have to be strong. And there's other people that kind of wail in the past. I know that's their way of kind of becoming stronger over time, right? They have to think about the past and then know where they're at. But when I hear the problems they went through, and I know there's people that went through way worse than me. I knew that there was kids that saw like their brothers and sisters get through like some sexual abuse in front of them. So many things that really traumatized other people. And yet I see them, they're like, you just have to the people that went through the worst things are the people that some of the happiest that I've met in my life. And they were motivation to me, right? So I see someone say, yeah, my dad didn't love me. He beat me. He treated me bad. I'm like, yeah, I understand, dude. I'm not minimizing the pain you went through. But what something that can help you is to think about really in the context of life, where you're at right now, how successful you are. A lot of things maybe push you because I want to be away from it or whatever, right? Not to diminish it. And I know that every time I say that, I still kind of diminish it each time, but that is in my perspective, and in my perspective is super full of folly and wrong views, but it's to me the best way to live life based on the people that I've seen survive off those issues. And again, everyone goes through two problems, but some people really like take one small problem and they can exaggerate it because it's the biggest thing that's ever happened to them. And I'm sure that even like if Gianna, like you probably met some people and some people fake like medical conditions because they like the attention they get for it because maybe they lacked love or they lacked attention. And now this abuse is what really like makes them feel loved, like the fact that they're saying things about themselves. But I want to get back to you, Gianna, for sure. But I know that my perspective is different from you. I don't want to like upset you.
no, I'm not
Because
upset.
you know you're my brother. Oh no, I meant like but you too. I don't want to upset you either. But my point is like if we all open up to the problems we've been through and we do a full comparison, it'll make you more compassionate and loving to another person. It makes you. I feel like it makes me love myself more, and it makes me able to love another person because I understand. Oh, they went through some really like torturous things.
Mind if I touch upon that real
Yeah,
quick?
I'm sorry. And again, Gianna, please come back on. I don't mean like if the time runs out.
And
I
yeah,
don't mean.
thank you very much, John. I apologize. I'm just trying to touch up on what he said right there. So I used to feel almost the same exact way, and to an extent, I'm gonna say you're right. Like legit, if you can have that output, that outlook, it'll help. But the difference is not everybody's you, like legit. Um, so I used to kind of do that, man. I used to try to help people out, and I thought I was doing all right and whatnot, but it's like I was doing it more in a forceful way. You know what I'm saying? So if anything, at the end of the day, what I was doing is deterring them from actually learning. You
You're
know what I'm
making them
saying? Like,
retreat back into their shell further. Right. I
exactly.
see what
So
you're saying.
like you may be right, but you got to learn. Like if you really want to help people out, you know, it's more so of being an example and being there for them. You know, if you're gonna try and teach somebody something, you got to do it more indirectly.
Yeah. Okay. Look,
You can't,
this is what I love about Gianna. Like she's able to do this for many of her clients, many of her friends, for people like I don't know. I think you're getting there. I don't want to say I'm jaded, but I've given a lot of time to friends, and every time you give advice, it's you trying to make them a little bit more like you. You're not really. You're only giving them advice from the lens of what you actually lived through.
exactly.
And I realize, like you said, not everyone's going to be the same way. So I'm almost retreated away from giving advice, and when I do, I give it in a harsh way because I've gotten so much older and I've seen so many different scenarios. So many friends I trusted and believe that you're going to make it out of it. Like, oh, he didn't have the strength to do this. There's a friend of mine who committed suicide like a couple years ago. I felt horrible because I didn't find out until after the fact. He invited their family invited me to his funeral. He was the youngest out of my group of friends. He was like somewhere around 22, and we talked about dreams and things that we would do someday, and that really hurts. But after a while, like if you start losing friends after friend, like you realize that maybe I tried really softly with them. I tried really like loving and reasonable, and that didn't help. And maybe again that jades you after a while because I didn't know
I
what else
think
to do.
I'm just gonna like interrupt real quick. We just got swatted.
Nice. Somebody called.
Yeah, somebody called.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, there was 3 cops right here right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, girls.
I had one hand on the mic and then I showed the other hand. Like you guys thought I was waving. I was just like, hey, just so you know, we're chilling.
Hey, first time for everything.
So I was right here.
It was like I should have came today.
I was
Okay,
here,
all
you know.
right. So I want to have Gianna speak a little bit on it, and I know you have something to say about it. So.
I think
And I made it said it. I might have said it wrong, but he's like my left nut, like my left testicle. Like I love this guy. We're inseparable, even though we have very different viewpoints. But
I think that you can either move on from something or not move on from something. And I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter, but I would say ultimately it doesn't matter as long as you don't let that control your entire perspective going forward. Okay. So I think this whole thing probably started because I think you were trying to let him know, hey, you went through all this stuff and this is influencing the way that you're kind of looking at things now. But don't let that be the sole only thing that's making you act every single way that you act, every choice that you make.
yeah,
Don't let that be because of this childhood thing.
yeah. And he doesn't spend a lot of
Because,
time
you
in
know
his
what I'm
own past, from what
Yeah.
I can tell. But
Which-
when he
yeah.
does visit the past, it's like it's
Yeah.
a pretty dark void out there.
It's a very
And
dark.
it's
one.
always going to be there, but it's like you don't, Yeah.
Yeah, and you had a point about it too, though.
Yeah, I might get a little lost. There's a lot of things going on
Yeah.
here. Sometimes I mean, if you're trying to help them out, like I said, you have your own perspective, you have your own mindset. You guys are close, but he's very different. If you want to help him out, and I know you probably feel like you're helping him out, because in your eyes, and from my perspective, from what I know about you, like this is how you do it. But except you're not going to reach him that way. You know what I'm saying? So the best way you can help certain people that really don't understand you, or like not really understand you, but that ain't like you, is just doing you, doing you the best way you could, and don't push. It may not be your job to, I don't want to say, like, to save him, to influence him or whatnot.
Oh, I know
And
that.
and if you probably, even if you just focused on yourself and doing you, you might actually will influence and do all that stuff.
I think a big part of that is because you don't want to feel the guilt if something negative happens.
Yeah, because
100%.
like,
So
oh,
now I'm
man,
just like,
he's my
here's the
friend.
perils,
He
good
took
luck.
his life or something like that.
Yeah,
and
I don't
couldn't
want,
do
because I've
anything.
felt that.
Yeah, and then but at the same time, in you can kind of do the opposite. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna keep pushing them because they're probably thinking like, yo, if this dude loves me, but why does he keep fucking yelling at me, harping on me, and forcing me to do all this shit? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah.
It's
It's
definitely
crazy.
gonna push you the other
he's-
way.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he said I'm controlling, and I'm not. Like fucking. But it's so you just.
Mind you, I'm the positive one.
That's great. Something I learned though too. Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes you can help literally with just shutting the fuck up.
Hey,
Like,
my boy.
like legit. I used to kind of do that a lot because I'm like, I feel like I don't want nothing to happen to these people, so I kind of just keep harping and forcing myself, and it's like, yo, it's not fucking working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then but sometimes like, yo, he just needs you to just let him fucking vent, let him fucking talk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
To be fair, he was the one asking. So
Yo, real talk. I was the one asking.
Yeah.
I was not trying to tell him, and he's like, "Yo, I need to know."
Yeah, see, it's hard, but when
Pulled
he,
out a pen and everything, bro.
I'm trying to do research on him really quick and fix him, but just when he's ready, he'll do it. I mean, one of the best things to get through people is like legit understanding. You want to be true to yourself as much as you can, right? But when you're talking to somebody, especially like a
Well,
loved one or something like that, you got to know who your audience is.
I
Who are you
understand.
talking to?
I
You know what I'm
look,
saying?
man. I understand different perspectives. It's hard to adapt your, even if you can speak a different language, you might not always have the
I
capacity
know
to do
it's
it.
hard, but get get better.
Yeah,
Just
I
do
know.
it.
I'm
No,
trying
just
to.
just do it though.
Yeah, okay,
That's
look,
what-
but think about the people that went through that. At least in my life, were people that began to unpack their past, which I think is good. You should, but they went through this and then began to adopt a victim. Like all this happened to me. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's true. It did, and they
Yeah.
they they are, yeah. Everyone's a victim of something that's happened to them. But then the way you react from there, that's what I was trying to help, because he began to spiral thinking about all the, like, what's the point? This keeps happening to me. I'm like, well, okay, you're looking at it negatively. There's ways to, and then at the end, I'm just, you know what? It's what I. There's no point. I can't like, I can't push that much energy into it.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Yeah. At my point, I'm just like, you know what? The world is full of people losing a few. I mean, what are you gonna? I can't do anything about it. Like I can't. You can't stress over other
See,
people. I can only worry about myself.
and I think to your point though, I think you're right. I think we all kind of end up at the same place if we can get there. But we're all going through so many different paths and fucked up in so many different ways
Understandable.
that
Yeah.
we all can't get there. And there's some people that just may never may not.
Yeah, and that's what
Like
I learned
like
to it.
with this whole forgiveness, like with, let's say, one of my fathers, right? Like he has a really nice family.
The one that
He's
went for milk or the one went there for
It's a
cigarettes?
nice family, not
one
your
went to
family.
jail, one went for milk.
Oh, okay, okay.
The one that went for milk
Found
is
another
my,
family along the way.
biological dad, and
Oh,
like
okay.
it's crazy. Like I'm like, yo, from based off of me being his firstborn and what he's got now, like he's an amazing person. He's an amazing dad to them. You know what I'm saying? Some people just want a fresh restart. And I tried reaching out and fixing it. And we kind of talk now. I legit talk to his sister more than I do him. And it's almost kind of like he's playing victim in a sense.
Yeah, dude,
Or
that's what's
he's
so
too
annoying.
stubborn, and I get it. But it's like, you know what? I'm gonna at least try to attempt to do that my part. I'm not gonna try to force it, and I'm not gonna try to like, expect things out of it. Because realistically, it ain't gonna be fixed just like that. And then I kind of come to the terms of realizing, you know what? It may just never get fixed. Whether it's my mom, whether it's my brothers, whether it's my, my dad's or whatever the heck. Like, you know what? As long as I try to do my part in a non fucking asshole way and try to understand them throughout the process, I did my part, and hopefully one day, they'll come to realization when they're ready or whatnot. And if not, it's cool. I love them for who they are, but maybe I just can't, you know, we need to be family, and I need to love you from a distance, because if not, like that whole thing that people say, forgive them, like she was mentioning earlier about, yeah, it's just, that's just the way they are. You got to forgive them and all that type of stuff. I used to do that all the time, because I'm like, you know what, that's right. It's
I don't know if
family.
that's exactly
But
how
you
she
know
said
what?
it, but
But no, not like that's not like her point of view, but what people would say, you know what I'm saying? People were
gotcha, gotcha,
saying,
gotcha.
just that's your parents, you just, get over it kind of thing. But and I used to do that, and I was like, that's right, because I am strong, I can take it. But you know what? It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you just got to figure out that balance. If they can't do it, you can do your part to adjust and then keep it. You know what I'm saying? The only thing at the end of the day that you can change and
It's you.
is
It's yourself.
So,
Yeah, how you
the way
react to a
see things.
situation, how you think about a situation.
But it's going to take a while. Everybody's going to get there. Some people get there young, some people get there, mid, some people not to their dying day, some people not at all.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
The most you can do is
that's the
just
sad part about life. That's the reality of it. I mean, you have to understand the chaos that influences all things that it touches, which is all reality. That's just how it goes. I think that's good. But that's why I also disconnected for so many people, because they were like that. And I can't put extra energy and effort into someone that I know will get there at some point. Maybe I can't be the scaffold. I can't do that. I got myself to worry about. Yeah.
Do you think
So
they
the answer is a happy ending then.
do you think
That's
they
where
should
we're at.
hug right now?
Yeah, you know what?
Go for it.
Don't
They
No, no, no.
I think
Stop
you guys
trying to
should
Boyd
hug.
and-
no,
We're going
no,
for
no,
a kiss,
no,
bro.
no.
Relax.
Stop.
relax.
Boyd and Z need a hug
Go
right
for
now.
a kiss then,
Give
Eddie.
her a hug. There you go. Oh, you reject my
Wait,
air hug?
why you guys taking off
Totally.
your shirt?
I'll bet your bag, bro.
At least touch tips.
Hey,
No,
his pants,
shut
his
up,
pants
dude.
are off. You guys put, dude.
Quick, put your pants back on, man.
You corrupted him.
Are you not wearing any socks?
Again, to reference, he asked for all this information against my will.
Here's where I see it when it comes to your perspective about how you handled
Wait.
about
What about this man right
your
here?
friend. This man?
Let's
Whoa,
put
whoa.
attention away from me onto someone else.
Oh, I'm
All right, you know what? I'll be
this-
Z.
Oh, here we go.
I
this
am
is
right.
in
You're
general.
wrong. Shut the hell up.
Oh,
Oh, whoops. Sorry. I'm dead on. I'm
Just
sorry.
get over it.
well, this is
Just
not-
get
it's
over
not
it.
I
directed
thought it
at
was
you.
my twin next to me. I was like, what's going on? I was like, what?
But I'll say just in the way that you deal with
I
with
have a
other
six
people.
pack. You don't. Get over it.
That's-
Sorry. I'm
One day.
being Z right now.
At
One
Global Gym,
He's
we're
being
better
humble.
than you.
One day. No, I think honesty and integrity are like the most important things, and what you base your reality off of, I think, is your honesty and integrity. That's probably going to be based in something that is more important than yourself. So I guess for me, I can align everything with one thing that is going to control the way I act, my priorities, and I'm not gonna get biblical on you guys. That's not what we're here for. But the point is, I could probably be the exact answer for someone else if I know exactly where their perspective comes from based on like what they live for. But that's not how the world works, and everyone has choice, and everyone has their perspective because of different things that they hold at like a
Choice.
priority.
What'd you say?
Choice, freedom.
Oh,
man.
choice, that's
So I would say you don't know the exact perspective of your friend. So as long as you're doing you are honestly with integrity doing your due diligence to help them as much as you feel like you know how, and they still make a bad choice,
Yeah.
I don't think that should make you jaded in how you're going to do it next
No,
time.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or
I-
no,
I
but
have a bad-
I'm not saying this to call it
No,
you
I just have a bad way of
specifically,
explaining it. I don't mean like I'm jaded towards everybody. I'm
but
jaded
it's
to
like
most people.
here- but how like you might think next time I'm gonna approach it a different way, trying to help someone out because you think that like I should have been the answer and like I
just-
wasn't maybe.
I
or-
believe inherently that every single human being that's alive
Mhm.
is a hypocrite. And I believe that they don't mean to be. I feel like everybody
Understood.
wants to be,
That's-
even me, everybody.
And that's true because
And everybody loves, they want love. They want to die peacefully. They want a
Yeah.
happy family. The essential things are the same. The way we get to it is different. And the way, depending on our starting line, we may
Yeah.
choose different ways to get there. But we are hypocrites. We do sometimes will not want to admit that sometimes we don't care about other people, man. Even if you're in a career where you want to, it's hard.
See, it's like what you were saying right now. Like you're giving your opinion to him. You're giving your perspective, right? And you're acting like he's complaining, and it's like get over it. While the whole time, that's exactly what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, people don't listen to me.
Oh, you got called out.
Whoa. When did I say people don't listen to me?
Go get the milk.
No, this
Go
is,
get the
Yeah,
milk.
this is what you're
Wait, what'd you
saying.
say?
Like, people don't listen to me. People ain't changing. They just don't fucking get over it. All right, bro.
No, but I'm not
Just like-
complaining.
yeah,
I'm
no,
saying
but-
those are true things, and I just accept it.
But
'cause-
yeah, it's true things, but it keeps getting to you. You keep bringing it up. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like the same concept, though. It's like, all right,
well, yeah,
get
I'm a
over it.
hypocrite. Yeah,
it's
everyone.
Not, it's not your job. Get over it. It's either
Yeah.
be cool with them, if not, accept them, if not get over it. It can be like the same thing.
And I wasn't even meaning to oh, I'm sorry.
No,
No,
dude,
you're good.
trust me.
I
To
wasn't
me,
even meaning to call
no
you out,
worries.
but I was gonna leave
No.
that into. I'm not trying to tell this huge story, but like when I was on some high school feels type
yeah,
stuff at that time.
the first Drake album.
Your boy, man.
Heartbreak.
Just hold
Heartbreak.
on.
Oh!
I said, so basically,
Oh, wait,
I,
That
Who
was,
was
that was that was like
that
the
was
third
someone-
one, by the way. I'm sorry.
that was a girl
I
that came
used
by.
to-
Did you just
I-
faint right now?
I used to do some writing, I guess. Okay, and I had amassed. Why did I say amassed? I had amassed like around like 16,000 followers on Instagram at the time.
Jesus, dude,
okay?
back in the day.
So I felt that maybe people at least understood my perspective because like what I write, people can identify with it, and that's cool. And it got to the point where I would get a bunch of these DMs for like whether it's advice or people going through really rough times, and there was like a lot of
You're like, I just do it because poetry's hot.
there's a lot of people that were in like a really really bad spot, and it got to the point where I know one person specifically, they needed like a lot of help, and some of it came down to like a lot of attention, and it got to the point where like I'm staying up later than I should. I think we were in different time zones. I'm getting like C's in classes. I got teachers like, Zach,
Affecting everything in
what
your
is
life,
going
yeah.
on, bro? You gotta see, this is not you, man.
Long
So,
story
like,
short, they're married, 3 kids.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Shut
so
up.
so basically though, it actually got to the point where I kind of had to do what you said, where I kind of had to switch a little bit to the tough level, where it's like, man, I've actually done everything I can, that I possibly can, to either like steer you in this direction, and I need you to somehow either try to apply that or figure out something else that works for you, or you find something else to put value in, and then I had to let that person go from there.
Yeah.
Now that person, they ended up turning things around. It took about, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
It took about, I'm
You're the one
not
messaging
talking
me?
to my angle. It's like a 45-degree angle. We got the whole, I'm working on it, boys. I'm sorry.
Nah,
but,
no worries,
sorry,
no
we
worries.
but
still heard you.
basically it got to the point where I think I probably got a DM from like a different account saying that it was that person about 2 years later, and like everything had like turned around for them.
All you had to do is be a douche.
That ended up being positive, but let's just say that it was negative, and that did not work out, and that person made a bad choice, which is also something that's happened before. I sincerely believe that I had done everything that I could for that person up to that point, and then sent them off with the most positive thing that I knew how. And if they chose to make a very, very bad choice, as much as that would have been sad for me, I
Yeah.
don't think I would have personally felt bad, and I think I would have done the same thing.
But
to the next person,
there's no way
because,
of like
because
if
I'm doing all that I know how. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I'm
there's
you're
a-
not
with
God.
that,
You can't save everybody. You
there's
can
a
only-
random person like texting you, like you can't like there's only so much you can do. It's up to that person now to take your advice and either run with it or just drop
Yeah.
the ball and like
Or maybe my advice they don't like, and then it makes them make this other choice that is also good for them. I'm not
Right.
saying that I know how, but I would go about that approach to every single person going forward, because I knew that was me honestly
Yeah.
telling, like, this is all that I can, this is as far as I can get you, and then it is your choice.
Listen,
And, you know?
I know some people may not like the idea, and I know I come off
Yeah.
super cynical, but I try to be
Of
really
course.
logical.
Yeah,
Logic
100%.
doesn't have emotions. A
Yeah.
lot of people have emotions and very little logic. In the world, if you can't survive, if a deer is hurt, the whole herd could sacrifice their safety and their everything about them if they want to protect this one injured item. If that animal can't survive in the nature, in with they can't survive with like the herd's help, dude, the herd's gonna suffer, man. I'm not saying that we're animals, because we have obviously empathy, we have logic, we have other things that animals don't. But at the end of the day, if it's one person damaging everyone's well-being, you kind of have to. And dude, nobody wants to sound like that. It's like, how horrible, you don't care about human life, But it's the truth, man. If well, what was that, Joseph from Louis C.K.? No, never mind, I can't say that. I can't.
Are you getting at, like, you're gonna leave the podcast? You're gonna sacrifice yourself or something?
No, I'm bringing you down with me. No.
Guys, I'm not a guest. I'm actually hosting here going forward.
It's like, yeah, for real.
No, you're definitely right. I think you can only compromise yourself or your own situation so much before it's like, hey, I got to let you go from here and figure out what the next move is.
You can get an animal that's injured, heal it as much as you can, and you have to release it. If you leave it in your care forever, you're damaging its potential. Now, for a human being, you want them to be able to live on their own, live for themselves, fend for themselves. But if they need you as a crutch forever, it's just not going to work. And if you, man, again, like, there's no happy or good way to put it, but the reality of life isn't beautiful, because there's chaos.
So what you're saying is that you can't live their life for them to make them happy. You have to live your own life.
I mean, unless it was Drake, there's some lives I would not want to live, but you can do so much. But at the end of the day, like, I have a friend who likes somebody, and I try to tell them this is what worked for me. It might work for you. And they're like, I'm not okay.
Einstein is talking about you.
No, I didn't. I would never say that. That's not what I said.
No, he was saying that in the bathroom.
So I'm gonna
Mentioned your
disagree
name.
with what you said earlier to
Damn.
then agree with what you said just now. You said you don't want to.
So it is day by day.
Oh, you got me. No, so okay.
And that's it, folks. Thanks for saying.
If you have if you have a healthy lion who's the most powerful, he has a big mane, he's the healthiest, smartest, best hunter, he could die from falling off a cliff by accident. Like, life isn't fair. Life isn't expected. If you're the smartest and powerful, it doesn't mean you deserve something. It cannot go your way, or it can totally go your way.
Yeah.
It's just the chaos of life. You have to kind of learn how to ride that wave. Some people don't. Some people do. But
And
that brings me peace to know that you
Yeah.
just can't do it for everybody.
And then you said you don't want to be the scaffolding, but I would say maybe you would, because the scaffolding gets taken down when things are built up to the like
Damn.
as
Okay.
much as they can.
Damn,
No,
you got
but-
me. You got me.
but
That's
for
true.
real.
That's true.
But no,
Yeah.
but for real, well, I think that's why that's actually good, because you're gonna do all you can, and then you actually have to take it all down, and it's like, hey, I've built you up as much as I know how, and then now you're gonna finish the job here.
Yeah, and
So-
I disagree with the idea of saying like that's your upbringing. That's I mean, I don't disagree with it 100%. I understand where it comes from, but I feel like sometimes, and again, I preface as logical as I am, I preface
Yeah.
this with I feel based on like conversations with people. Sometimes they use that as an excuse. Oh, I grew up in the hood. I grew up with government assistance. I'll never become a banker. I'll never become this or that. I'm like, well, there's tons of examples of people that did, but maybe don't shoot for the very tip at the top. Don't want to be the Steve Jobs. Just you can live in comfortable means, or you can decide, I don't think I want that. You can find your own purpose, your own way to be happy. But some people don't see it that way. Some people don't ever, like for me, like I grew up in a way where like I wasn't educated. I didn't speak English very well, for example. Right now, I think some people would have a hard time believing that, I speak a couple different languages, which I do. But when I first started, I could barely pronounce things. But it wasn't, I kept myself occupied with things that benefited me. And I still was able to, there's a lot of things I don't think I have. I mean, maybe I have trauma. I don't know. I don't think so. And if I do, well, I mean, I found ways to not think about it or consider it as such. But I found positive things to put my energy into. I think some people can do the same, but some people don't. And I understand that. And that's why I get frustrated. I'm like, I can't give advice calmly, because then I start thinking about, like, well, how could you, like someone said, I hate life. I'm like, how could you hate? Do you know how to play the trombone? Do you know how to play the piano? Like, I don't. Do you know? Like, oh, but I was a victim of, my parents yelled at me all the time. They said I was useless. I'm like, okay, fine. I understand that that's what they said to you. I'm telling you right now, let me show you how to do something. No, I can't. That takes time to work the knot out of someone's head. And that's time sometimes I don't have.
Yeah. That's actually a great point. I think I would actually say the apex of most of the advice that I gave actually boiled down to finding something positive to put a lot of time into, and to like build something up. And you have this kind of reason every day to wake up and do stuff, because you're actually working towards something. So I would say, I don't know if you've gone through like really, really rough times within like the last like 3 years. I'm trying to do a little sneaky segue into the whole gaming thing. But I would say like probably the last 3 years, maybe like things have been, maybe some things could be going back. I don't know, because I don't know you that well. But I would say every single day you working towards what's going on with all the gaming now 3 years in the making, where you're just like, man, this like started here and now it's here. And that was like 3 years of my life, like building up this really, really good thing, amongst maybe some bad things happening or whatever. But that actually kind of, I'm not gonna say it's like therapy, but it's like,
it is kind of a form of therapy.
Yeah.
All of it kind of is,
And
if you
that's-
think about it.
And the only piece of that advice that I had to make sure people knew is that whatever that outlet thing is, it has to be positive. So there's lots of people that can be like, okay, I'm just gonna kind of delay all these bad feelings and do this other thing that's a release, but it's like negative. I won't necessarily say what all those things are,
Right.
because some people can believe they're not negative, but whatever. I would say that as long as that thing that you're choosing to put a lot of time and effort into, as long as that thing is positive, so you have a reason to actually be going on every day and getting to the next thing.
And not to get into semantics, but what would you consider positive? The results positive? Because I think a lot of people can have different opinions on it, but I do believe that we have a baseline of what we believe positive is, right? Well, what's that baseline for you? What's positive?
That I feel like that should be a really easy answer, and for some reason it's not. I guess just because I know people have different beliefs.
But that's why it's hard, because you're smart enough to understand that there's
100%.
all these little
forks
in the road.
I don't know. I guess like something that doesn't negatively impair you. I would say. I mean, the most obvious examples are kind of negative things that I think impair someone physically, or things that have a bad physical toll on themselves. So I know there's some people, whether it be like you're going to turn to drugs or like smoking, whatever it is. Or,
Caveat:
or
if you're a firefighter, you could technically impair yourself. I mean,
I watched Chicago Fire.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But anyways, I would say that like those things, or like maybe you can like get into food, you like to cook and all this or whatever it is, but then you also need to not be overeating and then making it 100%. But I would say that like, yeah, maybe you can get into cooking or whatever, but then you don't want to be someone who just like finds comfort in food to where you're like overeating and then it becomes this negative thing to your body. And I'm not going to go into the whole fat or not fat thing, but I would say that
I was getting triggered.
I will say that like it can negatively affect your health.
That's so, low blood sugar, man.
So anything that is not those things, something that is not going to be negatively like physically impairing, or it's going to have some sort of negative effect on like someone else. still not.
It's
very
hard.
specific,
It's
is
not.
it?
That's what I was.
What-
Okay,
what was
so
the question?
Einstein here, I was telling him that there's nothing in life that's a black and white answer
You're
unless
just
you make
making
it.
fun of him because you're smarter than you.
But
are.
it's not.
It is. It is. But now
that hair is crazy.
I'm
I love it.
I'm being so vague because so many things are.
But you have
are
to. And
political.
when you're trying to get
There are so many things that are black and white for me because of my beliefs and all. Because
Yeah.
I am a Christian, and I
That sounds
believe that
racist.
all those other things that are I'll just say that are in the Bible. I'm going to say that there's no fault there, and that everything in there is black and white. And I know that it's tough because then everyone has to interpret the Bible in whatever way, and then you're going to say there's going to be gray in that. The point is that everything is black and white for me because I'm following this thing that I do believe has no fault. So anything that I do that is going to be aligned with that, and then I can move through life that way. And then everything that deems as negative, I'm going to deem as negative.
But do you
And
truly
everything
believe that there's no fault in it, or that its benefits outweigh the faults?
There we go.
Because if you
I
really
believe
look at it,
it's God breathed, so that I would say there's no faults. And by God breathed, I mean as far as like this is being derived directly from Him, even though it's been written by people, that are of earth, that you would say have faults. But so that's a whole nother conversation. But yes, I do truly believe that it is all true and there's nothing to correct about it, and it is meant for teaching. And
so let me ask you a
there's a
question.
lot to get into. Go ahead. Yeah.
Not to get into
No,
obviously,
no, you're good. You're good.
but if
No,
someone,
let's wait
but if someone were to say, I think that there's faults in it, would you
Mm.
be open to that thought process? You're like, you know what, it might actually
100%.
corrupt my way of
No,
thinking.
no. Yeah. So
'Cause
that's why other people's perspectives are important, because they can do two things. Either you're not going to you're either gonna
The
align
timing.
yourself with that perspective, or you're gonna take that perspective, compare it with yours, and then figure out that's actually gonna strengthen what I believe, because I'm gonna go back and recheck. So
And I respect
if
that
you're
so
someone
much.
who is a Christian, I think you should probably read some text when it comes to like stuff in the Quran. I think you should read some stuff within the Book of Mormon and try to figure out there's gonna be differences here and
You
here.
remind me of me
That's
so
why
much
I
when I
don't.
was young.
well,
I
same
love
deal,
that.
But it's true though, because
Yeah.
you actually need to be able to defend this thing that you believe. Now, you
Absolutely.
can't go in these other places and look for faults in them to make your thing
Right.
stronger. You have to be honest about it, and which is tough. But that's why when it comes to politics, right? Even though let's just say everyone's gonna assume this guy said I'm a Christian, so that means that like Fox News, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
How
But that's
dare
why
you?
I don't watch news. But if I do, we on Fox for 15 minutes, we on CNN for 15
You
minutes.
try to get a balanced
And then-
perspective. Yeah.
So because I gotta know, because even if I agree with more of the stuff, let's say on Fox, that's because there's bias on that side.
Yeah.
And then I go over here, there's bias on that side, and then I gotta make sense of both of them and figure out
Yeah.
what's actually going on.
Exactly.
And it's tough to do that. But even with that, I compare all those things through that lens of what I believe over here.
Yeah.
Everything goes through that, and that's how I figure out what is right and wrong. And the thing is, it's not on me to pass judgment, because that judgment's already been
Yeah.
passed.
That's
And
exactly what
everyone
Jesus taught. Yeah. The
everyone
golden
else
rule.
What
has
if
their opinion on what's
your
right and
job
wrong.
what if your job is actually to be a judge and you have to pass
Oh my
judgment?
God.
That's
I
7
would
years
align
of
it
school right
with
there.
that. It's the same deal. It's actually that.
You pass
that
the duties
easy.
off to this book.
Yeah.
This book that has.
No, I'm
like,
talking about like if you're in like
Unvaluable
America's like America's Top Idol or
Oh.
whatever.
Oh my
You're
God.
actually a judge. Like
So that's why you don't vote. Is that why?
Well, when it comes to being a judge on that kind of show, that would come down to there's really, I guess, no right and wrong when it comes to if someone's
Unless
good,
for the
like,
person
good
that
or-
didn't get
good or
chosen, then
skinny
they're
or
like,
not. Well, because those are my preferences.
That's
and maybe
true.
those are my references, right?
Oh,
come on now.
Oh.
absolutely.
But and when it comes down to all that, I
you,
think there's
you win
and
podcast.
last thing on Christianity, real quick, okay, is it's not going to be on me to make that choice for everyone else. So even though I believe this is right, this is wrong, this is the way to live, everyone is given free will, which is how I even got here. And
Yeah,
the
no,
only reason
absolutely.
you can be a Christian in the first place is because you make a choice. That's why I don't think God made us all into robots, because
Yeah.
then, like, what's the point of like I praise? There was no choice to begin with. Okay, so it's not up to me to pass judgment on everyone maybe that doesn't agree with me or is not a
Yeah.
Christian, because that's not the way you're supposed to go about it.
Yeah.
That's not the way that Jesus went about it either. So that's kind of where all my perspective comes from, that place. But it's not on me to be like, you're wrong, hell, bad. You're going. No.
Yeah,
that's
no,
not,
absolutely.
That's not how it's done.
And
And there's a lot of Christians that do that, and I think that's why a lot of people have
Yeah,
don't-
and
don't
they go
lie.
against-
a bad view on it. It's
don't
brutal.
lie. Sometimes you just like walking down the street and you see somebody, you're like oh, I just want to like
neck tattoos,
smite his
neck
ass
from-
right
from
there.
face-
You're like boom.
neck tattoos, face tattoos. Like, oh, this guy's made some bad
Like, I
decisions. And he's like,
smite
actually,
you.
he's a
Boom.
minister. You're like,
No,
damn.
I'm not trying to be the whole
Sinner.
higher than that.
No, I
thing,
know,
But I would say for me, I can identify times when I was in valleys, and maybe even like times very recently when I was into stuff that I shouldn't be, to where, and that kind of gives you perspective of how
Yeah.
you sin. There's ups and downs, and you need repentance and forgiveness, whether
Yeah.
whether you like it or not. So that is what is very difficult. Is then you got to look through that lens and apply it to yourself and be honest and figure out all the faults
And
that I have.
I've
That's
said,
not fun.
like,
That's not fun at all.
like I've said.
And I'll
You just
I'll
showed
end
me.
it there as far as
No, and I think religion is one of the best things in order for family units to stay and remain with the high value that it should have in society. I think religion is one of the most important things that really exist. When I was younger, I think I had a different perspective, a lot stronger on like certain stances. Now that I'm older, I have looked too much into history.
how old are
I
you?
became a fan of history.
How old are you?
I'm
10.
older. I'm older than I was yesterday, and I'm older now than I was a second ago.
What if
But
you had to put a
Don't be stealing my
numerical?
shit, bro.
The
Don't be stealing my
callback, the
shit.
callback, the
I'm gonna
callback.
smack him for stealing my
There
shit,
it
bro.
is.
If you had to put,
TM, bro.
We need a straight up answer.
if you had to put like a number,
I have an age.
if you had to put like a number to that age, what would it be?
Yeah, it would be more than 0.
So
But how many more?
Are you in the
Bro,
first?
bro,
Are,
why do you
so
gotta
are you in the
complicate
beginning
things?
of
I'm
your
under
life?
100.
Why do you gotta complicate it?
Are you at the middle of your life, or are you at the end of your life?
Some things
Yeah, or
require
at the
complications. But when I was younger, I loved it, and I like to debate. Not
How?
okay.
How,
I did like
how
to
much?
debate. I
Younger?
still do.
No.
But
How
when
many
I,
years younger?
when I was a lot younger, I liked to.
By how much?
And you remember this? We would sit, and people would come from different
He's like, no, I
backgrounds.
don't.
I had looked into the Quran. I learned Arabic. Ana bikalam shوي Arabi. I like Arabic.
mashallah.
Arabi. Bikalam Arabi?
Mozzarella.
That's the
Oh,
one where I know.
dang,
That's the
dude.
one where
Okay,
I
you
know.
got me going.
Toshiba.
I'm sorry.
I learned
Mitsubishi.
Arabic because I wanted to be able to understand the Quran because I wanted to be able to
Teriyaki.
teach them
Got
about
you.
what the differences are. Then I ran into Jewish people and I'm like, well, here's what the Bible believes. And they're like, yeah, we understand that. I'm like, well, why don't you believe in Jesus then? And they'll be like, well, here's what we believe in. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, then, okay, what about these people that believe in the Book of Enoch? What is the Book of Enoch? I
Yeah.
study this, I study that.
Mm.
And then the more I look at things, I'm like, oh, I always told you there was no inconsistency. Remember that?
Who are you pointing
You
at?
remember me.
Who are you pointing at?
I'm pointing at
Himself.
bait. So I would
Bait?
Not
that bait.
Nate.
So
You
I,
mean-
not
Not
that kind of
Nate.
bait. Not that kind of bait. So I remember I told you there's no. If you one day prove to me that something's inconsistent, I would change the way I look at things. I told you that, and I was so like.
He's like, I don't remember yesterday, but sure.
Well,
Who are
years ago, I had
How many
said
years?
that, and then after time, I
How
kept
many years from now? If you
oh,
had
a
to put
long time
number?
ago, right?
Oh, okay.
I would talk to people,
A long time ago.
and then I would look at what the Dark Ages caused. I would cause
10
what
10 years
what
ago?
happened when they first created the Bible, right? It was Nero, one of the emperors of Rome, who actually compiled the Bible together so you can have more control over the government. They took out tons of books because they didn't think it was canon, or they didn't think it would really help align the vision of what the Bible should look like. Of course, he got religious leaders together to do that. You look at ancient times of the Bible when Moses went up to get the Ten Commandments, Aaron made the golden
There was actually
calf.
more than 10 commandments, but he only brought them
right.
10.
Okay, whatever. So
I'm just saying.
That's fine.
the golden calf, everybody, men, children, women, everybody were killed. But Aaron, the one that instituted and melted and created the golden calf,
Aaron
walked
or
off.
Aaron?
He walked away
Aaron.
scot free. There's all these moments. The more you look at
They
it, I'm
messed
like,
up in the Bible.
you
like
can
that.
see so much.
inconsistent.
You can see inconsistency and corruption, and I'm like, whoa, dude. I never thought it was corruption. I always chalked it up to like, well, I don't know what happened. But the more you look at him, if through a human lens, you're like, dude, it is. Maybe you shouldn't look at it that way. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
key. But when
Yeah.
you look at it, I'm like, there's like one prophet didn't like the king because he didn't like him anymore. So he goes off and goes, "You're the
Yeah.
new king," and then that caused a whole revolution, millions of death in the
Yeah.
country. It just all right, chill. So the point is like, there's all these little moments, and the more I think about it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at it through this lens. I'm also gonna open my perspective to this lens, so I'm able to debate it and I'm able to show them logically
Yeah.
why this lens is incorrect. And the more I did that, the more I realized, oh, there's a lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to admit it. It took me like maybe 7 years to really come
See,
to the point.
And that wasn't your fault. I mean, it's just like what she was mentioning before, the whole condition.
But I still think religion it has its purpose. I still think it's good. I still think it
there we go. Because
has its purpose. But now that I'm free of certain thoughts, I'm like,
and that's what
I
was
feel
up
bad.
before. Because like honestly, I feel like
Mormons do good things for their
it's like,
families,
I
but
kinda
it's
feel
just
like once
it's not
you-
real.
Once you realize it, it's like cool. Now let it do its thing. Let
Yeah.
it do its thing. Because at the end of the day, for the most part, it's good.
Yeah, like
if
like
it's
the
not
government
for
is
you,
corrupt,
whatever,
but they
it's-
pass good
yeah.
laws out of like every
like-
800 laws.
It's-
Like one of
it's
them
like,
is two
why
of them are
can't
good.
you have all of them and just use what's best for you and just doing what's right? You can do that. So you just as long as you feel like you're doing the right thing, and
Dude,
it's your clear
okay.
thought and everything that you got.
Let me tell you something that was crazy. A few months ago, was it now? We went to Walmart, right? Hold on, that's not the crazy part.
No, we don't have. Well, we don't
Was
have
it
a
a
Walmart
super
around here,
Walmart?
so that's pretty cool.
What, they had some people outside the Walmart. What? Oh my God!
Saw
Homeless
There
Salvation
were,
people
Army
um,
with the
No,
with the bells.
they were.
They were
Um,
Mormons, no?
no, they weren't Mormons. They
No?
were.
For the voting thing.
No, damn it! Stop.
Santa jingling.
These people believe that God is on Earth currently.
Yeah, it was funny.
She
the,
is
the
South.
Jehovah Witness.
No,
No.
no, they don't believe in God.
I'm done. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. They believe that God is on Earth currently, and
Okay.
God is a woman.
And
A South
woman
Korean
talks to
woman.
them.
Yeah,
Oh.
that she is God, literally
Yeah.
God,
And she's like,
I
the
thought you was gonna
creator
say
of
Megan Thee
all
Stallion.
existence.
no, but the funny part is that
they
they're like,
wholeheartedly believe.
no,
in
no,
it.
no, that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that they said like, we follow the Bible to the teeth.
And then when I
And
showed them
then-
that they didn't, they were like, "Well, this is it was written back then. God has clarified these things." I'm like, "How did God
Mm.
clarify these things? Like, did you guys
Yeah.
have a vision? Do you have a board of leaders or
She
something?"
talks to us
And she talks
every
I'm like-
day.
and I'm like, "What
And
do
I'm
you-"
like, how?
They
Through the
literally
phone.
call
I'm like,
her,
what?
and she doesn't speak English. She's South Korean, but she's God.
Yeah,
She hasn't performed any miracles. She just came out and said, "I'm God," and was like, "Okay." It's like that. What is that country? Wild Wild Country. That documentary on Netflix. Everyone believed this guru from India. People inherently want to serve, and I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to want to be in a community and serve each other. But some people take advantage of it. And I think if you look in the lens of history and you look at the imperfections that don't quite make sense, you're like, this is a lot like what Scientology is, a lot like what Mormonism is. There's
Like
so many
all the
good things.
cults, and you know what I'm saying? Where
Right.
it's like
Because
someone is
I
taking
mean,
advantage
being a
of everyone.
Raiders fan, like
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying, bro.
You was like, some people just take advantage. I was like, you talking about Joe Osteen or what's his name?
yeah, that guy too. But dude, it's
Cancel.
everyone's a hypocrite, and I think everyone means well. But when you look
I
at
got my
this,
15.
the Bible has so many inconsistencies that I never considered inconsistencies until I really like took a step back, going, that doesn't make. God came to Earth twice, and one of them he said we need to destroy everybody because they're united, and if they're united, there's nothing they can't do.
See, and, you
And
can
that was the Tower of Babel, where he was like he came down to Earth, and it says on every translation, regardless of which one you look at, it's just weird how. Damn, I know I shouldn't have got it. It's
we got 4
but
minutes.
anyways, I think everything has a good purpose. I think itself
Yeah.
it's good to build people that has transformable energy and power.
Mhm.
But so does AA. So does like losing weight. So does like joining the army. I think
Yeah.
when you give something power, some people like say I was lost without anything. I thought I was going to commit suicide, and I found esports. And
Yeah.
now I love my life. I love my friends. Simply, I found Pokemon Go, and that I was in my worst parts. Like if you find these stories that you think are only isolated to religion,
Yeah.
but when you meet people, you're like, yeah, I thought life didn't matter until I found comedy, and you're like, what? A comedian? Like, if you give something transformative power, it transforms a person.
Exactly.
But if this is what they chose to do, this book is what they chose to follow, I think that's a beautiful thing. Because I know people that believe in the Jedi Order. Literally
And-
people that believe in the Jedi
it's
Order.
and it's
What's wrong with
crazy.
that?
And they're
Wow,
better
that's-
people.
that's
They're better
Oh, it's
people.
calling
Yeah,
you
what's
out.
wrong with that?
That's crazy. They believe in like some type of religion, a book, and a cult. What? That's nobody
No way.
does that. Bro.
But there's
That's
benefits
crazy.
to everything.
And you talking about like the Jedi Order, something man made and wrote,
Like the
What?
Execute
That's
Order
crazy.
88.
Yeah.
That's
What was that
crazy.
saying? It's like, oh man, I wonder what atheists believe. Do you believe in Zeus? No. There you go. It's easy.
But they believe in science or logic. They still believe in something.
See,
I was lost through religion, and then I found atheism. Like, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
As soon as they
You
pull out
can't
lightsabers, you're gonna start believing in the Jedi Order. You're
You'll
like,
find
bro.
the inconsistencies everywhere. The fact is, nobody's lived life and was able, even after dying and being
Live
able to
life,
tell
live
about it
love.
and made all the correct choices and all that type of shit and lived various different lifestyles to actually be able to fucking jot everything down. So the fact that people are they're only giving their own perspectives.
Damn it, dude. We
But
didn't get to these.
Yeah, let's,
Go ahead.
well, we gotta hop off, right?
We didn't get to what?
All
We
right,
didn't
hold
get,
on.
we didn't get to you.
You got a minute. Go.
Again,
Aw.
I do respect that.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't.
I feel like if somebody
You can get to me.
is-
I'm 4 in already.
if somebody is involved in that practice, I want to preserve their belief in it. I don't want to trip their faith or cause an issue for them.
Liar.
I don't. But if somebody wants to openly debate it, most likely
I was
they're
gonna
gonna have.
ask
They're
you
not
to
gonna
debate.
they're,
You're like,
they're,
we're debating.
they're not gonna be able to sleep well if
Yeah.
we end up going into it, because I loved it, but unfortunately there's things that really, if you sit down and think about it, it's gonna hurt your head, and you're gonna have some
There you go.
No.
I can definitely vouch for that. Before he wasn't like that. for sure.
What's unfortunate is that we're out of time, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh damn!
No, I'm
just
so-
like that.
Next time we talk about only esports and games. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, it was supposed to be fun conversation.
Well, just like that, guys. Thanks for listening to the episode of Preferences and References. We got
I'm sorry.
Boyd, we got Z, we got Einstein.
Dope.
Zach, thanks for being
We
in
can
this
even get
episode
my-
with us
That was
today.
fun, that was fun.
Oh,
Nate,
Peace out, guys.
fun as always.
Not
Thanks
Nate.
thanks for the caller that
It's
called
not
in
Nate.
today. We will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
All right, guys, thank you.
We love you.